Orioles Red Sox on Nesson is brought to you by Amtrak. Enjoy comfortable and convenient travel from Boston and save up to 25% when you book 14 days in advance. On a beautiful Sunday at Fenway, the Red Sox need the win to avoid a 3-game sweep and a 4-game losing skid as they close the series with Baltimore with an important road trip looming on Monday. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dave O'Brien. My partner, former Red Sox catcher Jarrod Saltalamacchia, and Garen Austin joining us as well. The Red Sox trying to bust out of a 3-game losing skid. They could really use a strong start. Salty, that's been missing. But the last time out today's starter, Doug Fister, was on the mound. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and he's got a heavy load to carry against an offense like the Baltimore Orioles, who are such a strong offensive team. So we're looking for him to go out there and be able to shut them down. He did a great job his last outing against Cleveland. He had his sinker working on both sides of the plate, keeping those hitters off balance, missing the middle of the plate, and that's what he needs to do today against an offense that's been really hot the past few days.
Well, he gives up the 1 hit at the top of the game, 3 pitches in, and that's the home run to Lindor, and then nobody has a hit off him the rest of that start. So he goes 9, 1 earned run, strikes out 6, 114 pitches, and you know what a fast worker he is, and he's facing another guy who likes to get it and throw it today in a left-hander, Wade Miley, formerly of the Red Sox as well. So that's your pitchers duel today as the Red Sox take on the Orioles in Game 3. That's the end of the homestand. Then the Sox are off to Toronto and a huge series with the Yankees next weekend. Come on back. First pitch, Sox and the O's on the way. Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. McDonald's, any McCafe bakery muffin with any size hot or iced coffee, just $1.99. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger program. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Red Sox and the Orioles, Game 3 coming at you. Tim Beckham about to lead things off here against Doug Fister. Comes in 3-6 with a .478 earned run average. Dave O'Brien and Jarrod Saltalamacchia alongside. And Fister nothing short of brilliant last time out. A 9-1 win at Cleveland. He has not faced the Orioles this season in his career. 4-2, an ERA of 4.47.
If he can do half of what he did against Cleveland, still going to be a step up from what we had the past few days.
Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Audi dealers. And we are set to go. A little bit of cloud cover all of a sudden. Red Sox trying to get back into the win column, score some runs. But as you have told me throughout the weekend, it comes back to starting pitching, Salty.
Yes, pitching and defense is what it's all about. Every team's looking for it, and we can see how it's been the past few days. It's so important. You know, you never want to be in a hole as an offense going in there trying to fight and claw back. You always want to stay in the lead.
Beckham, good power. He's homered in this series, 18. Then Machado and then Scope.
Doug's got so many things working. He's got elbows and knees and everything coming at you. As a hitter, it's tough to look at one location and one spot on him. His ball moves so much, and he's been able to work that sinker really well off his cutter, and that slow breaking ball is also a great weapon for him.
Well, he's fallen behind 3-1 on Beckham. He swings and knocks that one into center field for a base hit. So that means Pfister has him exactly where he wants him.
Yeah.
Here's the Oriole lineup, brought to you by New England Chevy dealers. Machado is next, and then Scope, who has 28 home runs. Adam Jones in center. Trey Mancini, Chris Davis, Mark Trumbo, Wellington Castillo, and Seth Smith. And everybody in the lineup is home run capable. Umpire is brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, buyatoyota.com. Brian O'Nora with the plate. Paul Emmel, Scott Barry, and Quinn Walcott on the bases.
You said it. I mean, anybody in this lineup at any point can hit a home run. You know, Doug's not a big fly ball pitcher. He's got that sinker and that cutter, so he's going to try and work that today. And we talked about getting ahead of hitters, strike one, and just staying ahead. But Doug's capable of getting a ground ball at any point, any situation. So he's definitely a little different than the past few days.
How do you know when a starting pitcher is going to have a good outing, or maybe a not so good outing? When do you know as the catcher behind the plate?
For me, I never took too much into what the guy did in the bullpen. I always looked at if he's hitting my glove, wherever I put the glove, and he can hit that spot, that's when I felt like it was going to be a good day. I also watched the hitters. If the hitter took awkward swings and weren't able to kind of see him, like a swing like that, I always felt like, okay, this could be a good day.
So the bullpen doesn't mean anything.
It means nothing. I've had guys who have done great down there. I'm like, all right, it's going to be a good day. Then you get in the mound, and it's a different feel. The mound's different in the pen as it is on the mound.
Just off the corner.
Pitch.
Barely missed there, and the count 1-2 on Machado.
Yeah, this is a good fastball on the outside corner that yesterday you were seeing called a lot, but different umpires see it differently. It was a little bit off the plate, but it's still pretty close. As a catcher, I want it.
Down he goes, hacking. That one disappeared on Machado as he fans.
It's Junior Announcer Day, so here's Matt with your Red Sox defense, brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
Thanks, Mr. Saltamacchia. Here's today's Red Sox defense. Rafael Devers is at third. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop. Eduardo Nunez at second. And at first is Hanley Ramirez. Andrew Benintendi's in left field. Rajay Davis in center. Mookie Betts in right field. Sandy Leone is doing the catching for Doug Pfister.
Man, thank you very much. And here's Scope at 307, 28 homers. He's number 2 in the American League with 95 runs batted in.
He's having a great year.
At this point for the Red Sox, the starting staff, it's just getting through the first couple of innings and keeping the other guy off the board, because that certainly has not been happening lately.
No, it hasn't, but at the same time, these guys know what they have to do. They've been in this skid before, so they know what they did to get out of it, and they're going to do it here.
Orioles have outscored the Red Sox 23-3 in the first 2 games of the series. A little chopper toward third. Devers to be tested on the first, and got him there. Down to second is Beckham, but with 2 away.
That was a great play, and you can see that a ball like that, it's a chopper. Devers has to run it. It's almost like that bunt, and with a man on first, you saw Pfister, you saw X go to third and take that base, make sure that Beckham wasn't going to take that extra base. And it goes to show you, Pfister's a ground ball pitcher. He's able to get some awkward swings. He's able to miss that barrel, and he's got so many weapons that he can get you with, but at the same time, that sinker moves so much that he may stay with that today.
Adam Jones, 279 with 24 home runs. A couple of guys in this lineup have had good histories against Pfister for themselves. Jones, one of them. He's a 300 hitter against him. 6 for 20. That is going to be a balk. That is a balk by Pfister. That's going to send Beckham down to third base. He just stopped.
That was it's pretty awkward. And you know, I think I remember seeing him do that at some point this season before. I think his cleat got stuck. I'm not quite sure. He got the pitch that he wanted. Yeah, that front cleat, that front heel got stuck on the mound, and there's nothing he could really do to recover. So that's all right. We got 2 outs. We're gonna not let that guy get in. Get the guy at the plate now.
It was so wonderful to see the parents of Ari Schultz, Mike and Erica, tossing out the first pitch today. You remember the story of the 5-year-old who passed away after all those heart operations. There's a shot down the line and down into the corner. That's going to bring in a run. Down into second base, Adam Jones, and he's in with an RBI double and a 1-0 lead for the Orioles. And they're at it again early. Jones with his 65th RBI.
But that hit there, it didn't matter on the balk. He would have scored from second as well. Tried to go the cutter away, just kind of spun, didn't really do anything, stayed down the middle. And like these guys have showed, they're not going to miss mistakes.
21 doubles for Jones, and here's Trey Mancini, the rookie, with 22 home runs. We were talking about Mike and Erica Schultz before the game. Ari's mom and dad. Remember, Ari spent 189 days inpatient at Boston Children's, more than 10 heart operations. A huge Red Sox fan. What a wonderful kid, special kid. And it was heartbreaking, but this is such a terrific scene. And Xander Bogaerts coming out because Ari just loved Xander, his favorite player. Loved Christian Vasquez. They had visited him at his home. And one trickled foul, and the plan was for Ari to throw out that first pitch.
Yeah,
passed away in July.
So emotional, and that goes to show you that this team and this baseball, there's some things that are so much bigger than the game. And you know, that right there, that story, I remember sitting at home, you know, watching that video, and I just grabbed my kids and hugged them, and just, you never know. It's such a sad story.
Floater toward right. Mookie Betts on the move. He's not going to get it. It's going to take a hop and up into the stands for a double. Another run scores. Adam Jones is in, and once again the Red Sox fall behind early.
Yeah, that was a pitch out over the plate away, and Mancini did a great job of trying to just make contact with it, and he was able to keep it fair. Yeah, another cutter out over the plate. Not a terrible pitch. It's off the plate. Mancini was just able to get barrel on the ball and keep it on the right field line.
Chris Davis here, 224 with 21 homers.
It is tough, and it's frustrating as a pitcher and as a catcher and as a team. I've been through it before. Like we said, John Lester had done it, and you just couldn't get through the first few innings. I think it was the first inning he had trouble with. He would give up 2-3 runs every time, and there was no explanation for it. We just couldn't quite figure it out. We would make good pitches. They were getting hit. They would score runs, and it's just so frustrating. And you want to be, as a catcher, to help that guy out and figure it out for him, but you just couldn't.
And bad news coming from the Bronx. Look what the Yankees are doing. Up 6-1 already in the first inning against Seattle.
Wow.
Red Sox lead has been cut to 3.5 games. And a 1-2 will miss.
We talked about it, and as a player, you never want to look at the scoreboard, and I never tried to. You're human, you look, you see it, great. But at this point in the season, you always want to get help from other teams, but you can't think that way. You have to focus on what you have to do as a team.
Wave and a miss. He struck him out. Leon will fire on to complete the K, and the inning is over. Once again, the Red Sox fall behind. Boston coming up down 2-0 to the Orioles. Orioles before the Red Sox come up to swing for the first time, facing the left-hander Wade Miley. 7-10 ERA, over 5. Eduardo Nunez first man in, 327 for Eduardo. Back in the lineup yesterday after injuring his wrist and his thumb the night before. Miley spent the 2015 season, of course, here in Boston before getting dealt to Seattle. And a 1-0 to Nunez. 2-0.
He's had a couple career starts against Boston. One this year, I think one last year. This year definitely went a lot better than last year. Through 7 innings. 1-run ball.
One thing about Miley is his walks are way up, as that one's scalded foul. He's already walked 76 men.
Yeah, which is kind of strange. He likes to work quick, you know, so that could be the reason why he falls behind and walks some guys. But you know, guys who like to work quick usually are guys that are a lot of contact. Burley was that guy. Fister's definitely that guy.
Popped him up. Scope in short right for the first out. It's Junior Announcer Day. Here's Danny with the Red Sox lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Thanks, Mr. O'Brien. Here's today's Red Sox lineup. Leading off at second base, Eduardo Nunez. In left field, Andrew Benintendi. In right field, Mookie Betts. At first, Hanley Ramirez. The DH, Chris Young. The shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. In center field, Rajai Davis. At third base, Rafael Devers. The catcher, Sandy Leone.
Danny, very smooth, my man. Nicely done. Andrew Benintendi here, 273 with 18 home runs, 71 runs batted in. Foul tip to the mitt to make it 1-1. You mentioned last year with Baltimore, Smiley made his start here at Fenway on September 12th. He was hit very hard. He gave up 6 runs, 8 hits in an inning and 2/3. He was much better at Camden Yards earlier this season. Got the win, 7 strong innings. He allowed only 5 hits and 1 run, so he's been a bit Jekyll and Hyde against the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, let's hope for the Red Sox sake that they can see a little bit more of what they saw last year than they did this year. And he's like the left-hander Fister. He mixes his cutter, his sinker, his fastball, changeup, curveball. He has so many pitches that he can throw and tries to.
Line drive base hit right between Beckham and Machado.
That's a good
really guiding it through there, yes, for a single. And we're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compra2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV.
You see Benny doing a great job with that cutter, just going the other way. He's done that the past few days, but hasn't been able to find that hole. They've had that shift on him, and I think with the left-handed pitcher there, they tried to mix the shift up, and he was able to find that hole.
Sox trying to wake up the offense. Mookie has a 5-game hit streak. 265, 18 homers, leading the team at 77 RBIs.
Past few days, he's hit a lot of balls hard, able to find the hole a few times yesterday. So it's always good to see some from your 3-hole hitter. John Farrell switched the lineup up a little bit because of the left-handed pitcher, trying to mix and match with knowing the bullpen.
Miley, of course, left-handed with a cagey move. That's hit sharply down the line. Maybe for extra bases all the way to the corner. Benintendi to third and stopping there. That'll be a double and a 6-game hitting streak for Mookie Betts.
Nice. That's what you want to see right there. Did a great job. Cutter tried to get in on his hands like he did with Nooney, and that pitch was a little bit down, and Mookie with those nice, good, quick hands was able to keep that ball fair. That is not an easy pitch to do. That's a good sign to see some base hits, some good positive things.
Well, 2 men quickly into scoring position against Wade Miley, and here comes Hanley. Hanley's at first base today. 243, 19 homers, 49 runs batted in. There's 2 ducks on the pond right away.
And you look at his RBI numbers, and obviously it's not something normal when you see Hanley Ramirez and you look at those numbers. It's not normal, but the fact that he's done it his whole career, situations like this, he knows what he's got to do, and these are situations that he can thrive in.
Certainly the hope is, because it happened last year, that history will repeat itself with Ramirez, that he will get hot at this time. Hit a lot of home runs down the stretch for the Red Sox last year. Certainly the hope is that's coming.
Yeah, especially this time of year. And you see him found those pitches off the right eye. For me, that's a good sign, because he's not trying to pull and hit a home run. He's just trying to do something little base hit. He knows the single is going to score 2 runs. You know, some guys you see in that with a cutter, they're trying to pull and hit a home run. He's not trying to do that. He's trying to stay inside the pitch, try and hit the ball up the middle. Cutters are the toughest pitches to be able to do that with.
Oh, 2, and down he goes. He 0 for his last 14.
And Marley and Castillo did a good job knowing that situation, knowing that they're just trying to stay inside of it. They went with a 4-seam fastball instead of the cutter and was able to lock him up. Went with the 4-seamer in, made sure he didn't miss over the middle of the plate, got it in there on his hands. So the best case scenario, he just hits a little blooper to first, but they got the strikeout.
So 2 down. It's up to Chris Young now. One of the reasons that Young is in the lineup and batting 5th is because he is 6 for 15 off Miley.
That'll put you in there. And he's been swinging a hot bat the past few days. Hasn't been a lot of offense, but he's definitely been one of the bright spots. Hitting the ball hard.
Singled and doubled on Friday. He's liked facing the Orioles in his career. In fact, his last 18 games against Baltimore, Young is hitting .396. 1-1. Runners at second and third. Benintendi and Betts. Red Sox down 2-0.
And Miley's got to be careful. I mean, Xander hasn't had a lot of at bats against him, but he has had success against him, hitting .400. So, you know, you don't want to pitch around CY, even though he's had success.
And he popped him up, backing out Machado into left, and that's where that dies. So the Red Sox strand 2 men in scoring position, down 2-0 after 1. Fister with a 1-hitter against the Indians Tuesday. is one of only 3 pitchers since 1900 to throw a one-hitter and surrender a leadoff home run. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. Francisco Lindor with that home run. I think a lot of folks were like, whoa, what's going to happen here for the rest of the day? And then he faces the minimum number of batters from the 2nd through the 9th.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough. When you give up a leadoff home run or a leadoff double, things can start speeding up on you. And he did a great job of harnessing that and coming back and making great pitches.
Robin Roberts and Jack McDowell also surrendered leadoff homers and then no hit their opponent the rest of the way. The only other 2 who've done it, along with Pfister. And that's going to be in there for strike 3. He'll sit down Mark Trumbo for out number 1. And let's go down to Garen Austin. Garen, great to see you back on the sideline.
Hey, OB, well, thank you. It's been a very long process as I've been battling a concussion, but just very excited to be back. So thank you very much. But guys, I was talking with pitching coach Carl Willis earlier today, and he said it's been a tough couple of days coming off a tough night in Cleveland. But he said any team can hit a rough patch. It's just magnified when it's this late in the season. But they're excited to see what Doug Pfister can do today coming off his start in Cleveland. And guys, John Farrell said hopefully he can establish a rhythm early in this one today.
Well, gave up a couple of quick runs and 3 hits, but struck out the leadoff man here in the 2nd inning, and he jumps in front on Wellington Castillo.
Yeah, that is so true. Things can get kind of magnified, especially this late in the season.
Broken back ground ball to Bogarts. 2 up, 2 down.
Good pitch. You know, when you're fighting for something, everything can get magnified a little bit, and as a player, you got to keep that out of your head and focus on what you got to do. Pfister right here, great fastball over the plate, but his sinker moves so much that it's able to miss barrels, and that's what both these pitchers do so well. They're able to miss the barrel and get soft ground balls. Hope we can continue to keep that going.
And he's getting ground balls in the early going. That's typically a very good sign for him. Here's Seth Smith, 269, 12 homers. After Saturday's win, the Orioles are within 2 games of the 2nd American League wild card spot, but they still have to leapfrog 4 teams in front of them to get there.
Yeah, and their pitching staff the past 3 games, 2 games today, has been pitching well enough to be able to do that. And as a player, all you want to do is just get that spot, whatever it is. If it's a playoff game, to get into a playoff game, just give me the opportunity. That's all I want. Big curveball there. His curveball is so slow and so big. You know, just that little bit will get you off the fastball.
2 down, bases clean, looking for a fast inning. A team like this that loves to swing the bats, and every one of them is up there looking to hit it out of the ballpark. What's your attack as a catcher? What are you looking to make them do?
Well, guys on the mound like Pfister, this is a dream for a catcher, because you know that his stuff moves, and they're such an aggressive swinging team. We can finish this conversation next inning, but
certainly will.
Good stuff.
1, 2, 3 they go, and a very fast inning for Pfister. Ball. Xander Bogaerts' last dozen games, 310 with 6 RBIs, couple of home runs. About to lead off the second inning, 2-0 Baltimore. Xander with a home run on Friday. He'll be followed by Rajai Davis and then Rafael Devers against Wade Miley. Red Sox had a scoring chance with one man out. They had runners at second and third, but could not bring in a run. We were talking before we went to the break about your game plan, your approach, and you spent a lot of time with the pitcher, that day's pitcher, going over exactly what you want to do with every hitter and situations and all of that. You're facing a team that really attacks one way in the Orioles, and a club the Red Sox are about to face, Toronto, very much the same thing. What's the game plan you lay out?
Yeah, and those teams are both aggressive, but that's a little short. Both those teams are very aggressive, but aggressive in different ways. Baltimore feels like an aggressive team, and it doesn't matter what you throw, whether it's off speed or a fastball. If it's in the zone and it's a mistake, they're able to hit it. Whereas Toronto, I felt like they were a team that was a really good fastball hitting team. So I can make mistakes with off speed, but I knew with the fastball we had to be better. It's a good
pitch. Missed. Yep, strike 3. Down goes Xander Bogaerts. So when you talk about that process, you know, when you're there with your starter, is the pitching coach right there with you, or is it just you two guys going over the information they give you?
It depends. I mean, I've had it both ways. Majority of the time, yes, the pitching coach is there with you, and he's got his reports. I've got my reports. The pitcher usually has his reports, so we kind of sync it together. I've had a lot of times where the pitcher runs the whole meeting, and they say, this is what I want to do. I've had times where they say, nope, I'm whatever you. Marco Estrada, he's a guy, he didn't ever have a meeting. We didn't even have one. He said, I don't care. Whatever you put down is what I'm going to throw. I don't want to think it. I just want to go out there and just pitch and not have to worry about it. But like I was saying, with both these pitchers, they both have really good movement. So when I'm facing a team like Baltimore, I love the matchup today because his ball moves so much that he's able to miss barrels.
Bounding ball, high chopper to Machado. And Davis retired, 2 up and 2 down. The AIG Hurling Classic and Irish Festival returns to Fenway Park with a doubleheader featuring 4 of the most prominent teams in the world. Tickets are on sale right now at redsox.com/hurling. It's fascinating that a particular pitcher wants nothing to do with the information.
Yeah.
And there's so much of it. And maybe that's one of the reasons why it gets to overkill at times.
It does. And there's certain pitchers, and Marco's one of those guys, and I believe there's a few guys on this team, Sale, Pfister, who don't rely on numbers. They rely on what they see. They know how they feel. They've pitched long enough. They know what they can do. And they go out there and they just pitch their game. And sometimes that's the best way to do it. There's other guys who have to have the numbers. And Verlander was a guy that loved to look at numbers and look at holes, and he can go to that throughout the game and remember it.
He must have really good recall.
Yeah, he was able to. Yeah, he was able to have that I don't know, photographic memory, I guess, of numbers of what he's done in the past. And you know, that's a credit to how many years he's had in the big leagues.
Devers trying to snap out of a skid here. He's 2 for his last 24. Going with Carita as his nickname. That means baby face, because he said, I was the kid always smiling and happy growing up.
It fits. He's definitely got that baby face. Well, he is a baby, so.
I'll tell you what, regardless of how this game goes, a lot of us, I think, are done with the uniforms.
Yes. I think they might just go straight. No one's keeping these uniforms.
Especially the Orioles uniform?
Yeah, I'm not keeping it for looks alone. They may keep it because they've been playing really well with it.
Yeah, that's right. They may want to, but let their fans watch these uniforms.
I just can't think. There's traffic cones everywhere on the field right now. Really bright.
Neon. Eye burning.
Very.
And you're right. They've been successful with them. So.
You know, you're in baseball. You're superstitious no matter what. I don't care who you are. You're superstitious in some sense.
Devers knocks that one toward the wall. Mancini turning. It's high off the monster. He wants second base. Mancini plays it off the green. It's a double for Rafael Devers going to the opposite field. That's a very good sign for him.
Very good sign. Great swing. I mean, this kid started off so hot that anytime you go through some little drought, it's going to get magnified at this time of season as well. You saw him take a big swing on the 2-1, tried to do a little too much, and then got back into his element and said, you know what, here, I just got to play pepper with that wall. That's what he's done so well to start off the season. get back to that.
Well, he could use a big day, and he's off to a nice start. Red Sox with their third hit off Miley, second double.
The cheetah, Leon.
Sandy 235, 6 home runs. So far 0 for 3 in this series, but he did drive in a run with a sacrifice fly on Friday night. This is the third time this season the Red Sox have lost 3 in a row. Prior to the skid, of course, they were 16-4 over a 20-game span.
And that's all it takes. They go 16-4. We're going to forget about this. I think everyone's going to forget about this, and that'd be a good time to do it.
And tied on Sandy Leon on deck. Eduardo Nunez, 2-0 Baltimore in the second.
And guys, like when you're facing guys like Miley and Pfister, that is the key. You can't try and do too much. You try and get too big, and that's what they want you to do, because they want you to try and swing at their pitches. Less is more.
The Orioles in any color uniform have been tough on the Sox this season. Boston is 6-9 against Baltimore. The next opponent coming up, Toronto. Red Sox are 7-3 against the Blue Jays. 2-2.
Yeah, and you look at the way these teams have finished. Beginning of the season, they were probably the favor. Toronto was, Baltimore. A lot of the acquisitions the Red Sox made put them up, and obviously the way they played it put them up towards the top. No one ever expected New York to be second, that's for sure.
Nobody really knew what was coming in Judge this quickly anyway.
No.
Softly hit to third base. Machado will gather that and gun on to get him. So the Red Sox, for the second inning in a row, get a man into scoring position. Already had 3. No runs across yet. The smart choice to power your home. Visit thinkenergy.com to enroll today. Jared Saltalamacchia, Dave O'Brien, Garrett Austin with you. Pretty day here at Fenway. 2-0 Baltimore. Moving on to the third inning. Top of the order, it'll be Beckham, Machado, and Scope against Doug Pfister. Had a quick second inning. He got him 1-2-3. He's been a good daytime pitcher in his career. 4 games over 500. ERA around 3.5.
Oh, it's a good thing he doesn't have blue eyes then, because I don't know if you remember that story with Josh Hamilton when he had the Oakland game.
Yeah. A lot of stories with Hamilton lined into center field, and Davis will make that catch. You and I were talking about him before the game, talking about Josh Hamilton and You had to wonder, if not for all the personal issues that he had, and he really had a lot of demons, but if not for that, he'd be in a direct path to Cooperstown.
Without a doubt, he'd be in a league of his own. I mean, he was one of those guys that could beat you any possible way. He could hit a home run at any part of the ballpark. His speed was just above anybody's. He was a lot like Mike Trout in that aspect. I felt like he had a better arm than Trout. Obviously his power, they're both the same, but Josh just, man, there's just so many things that he brought to the game. It's really sad.
And yet had a pretty good run, for about 5 or 6 years in particular.
He did.
Machado 0 for 1. He has struck out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think his body was just starting to break down over the years.
Yep.
But it was a lot of fun watching him, Nelson Cruz, both take BP in the same group.
Yeah, you were there in Texas with him. I remember the Red Sox going in several years ago, 2007, and playing a series against the Rangers. And I remember Mike Lowell coming off the field after Josh Hamilton had homered, tripled, stole 2 bases, threw a guy out at second base. Mike Lowell said, "That's the greatest baseball player alive, the greatest player I've ever seen."
And that
guy's Superman,
Yeah, and that means a lot coming from a guy like Mike Lowell, who has done so many things in this game, and his knowledge of the game is through the roof. So for him to actually say something about you got to feel pretty good.
It was some performance, and one of those that made you think that's just a natural, amazing athlete, but a great ball player. And if he had been able to do that, tried to check his swing, and he got hit by the pitch.
He said he went. He went. Yep, first base umpire says he went.
And the home plate umpire is going to say that's exactly what happened. Initially, he was giving Machado his base, and the first base umpire, Paul Emmel, said he swung the bat.
Yeah, I felt like he went. I felt like he swung the bat. He was trying to get out of the way, more defense than anything, but I felt like he still went. Yeah, that's tough. He was trying to get out of the way and fell back because of it, but his bat did break the plane.
And the conversation continues with Showalter, and only now is Machado starting to leave home plate. So he's a strikeout victim.
Yeah, you can't review that, so regardless, Buck can either get his money's worth or head back.
So 2 down, 4th strikeout for Pfister. And it'll bring up Jonathan Scope with the bases empty here for the Orioles.
It's tough to make a right-handed hitter look like that. I mean, granted, it was at him, and he already committed himself to swing. But that was that front door cutter that kind of backed up on him.
Scope 0 for 1 with a ground ball to third.
Pfister being so tall too, another leverage he has is when he lets go of the ball, it's almost like he's right on you. So you don't have much time to think when it comes, and his ball moves both ways.
Ground ball off the mound. Charging Nunez off balance. That's very nicely done to get him. And a 1-2-3 inning for Pfister, and it's still 2-0 Baltimore. will include access to potential 2017 postseason games. For more information, go to redsox.com/season tickets. 2-0 Orioles. Red Sox up here in the third inning. Top of the order. And Eduardo Nunez. 0 for 1. He's popped to second.
I'm looking for Nunez to be my click to pick to click. He typically has been really good against off-speed pitchers. It's facing him in the past. I've always looked at the numbers and watched video, and guys who throw off speed, he's typically had better games against. I'm not sure if he sits soft or what his approach is, but I've always tried to stay hard with him because of that.
2 for 8, a home run lifetime against Miley. And the 0-2. Right to the feet of Machado, as smooth as they get at third base. So 1 away. Get expert emergency care without leaving Fenway at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station. That's behind Section 12 on the lower concourse. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Visit bidmc.org. Benintendi knocked the base hit between the third baseman and shortstop first time up. That was in the first inning. Then Betts double. Looked like the Red Sox were going to get something going, but Andy Ramirez was a strikeout victim, and Chris Young popped up. And the Sox squandered an early chance.
Yeah, that's tough. Anytime you have second and third with less than 2 outs, you got to find a way somehow to get that guy in.
And a high fly down the left field line. That one's sailing into the corner. Man, a foul ball. You mentioned it yesterday, that, pop-ups down the left field line and heading to where the stands jut out, the low wall down there. There's a lot of wind activity. There's a lot of swirling winds that, if you're just sitting up here, sometimes you can't really tell until you see the fielders freak out and panic in their step.
Right. Well, typically I've always come into this ballpark, and being a home player, I always look behind basically where we're at. There's a flag right here that'll tell you where the wind's blowing, and that's the one that's always been most true. But any ball down that left field line that's high, that's able to get up near that Coca-Cola sign where the wind pushes it, it typically comes back, and players lose it all the time. They think it's going to be foul. Next thing you know, it's in fair territory, and it's a double, sometimes a triple, if it's the catcher, obviously.
Obviously.
Can't,
Speed merchants that you guys are.
Speed doesn't take a day off.
0-2. Benintendi in this at bat really appears to be crowding the plate.
Yeah, you saw it in his approach last at bat, just flicking the ball that way. A little late on that fastball, but with 2 strikes, that's fine. That's what you want to be. See if he can kind of do what Beckham did yesterday. Fight those pitches off, fight them off, and make him make a mistake over the plate that you can do your damage with.
And Beckham with a 3-run homer. That was the key blow in the Oriole win. And he bounced it up there 2-2.
Great job blocking that curveball there. You never know. You never know if the batter's going to swing, and you got to keep it in front.
2-2. Right back to the hill. So Benintendi will be retired this trip. He is 1 for 2. Today's suits are designed by Joseph Aboud, custom made in the USA of fine Italian fabrics, available at Men's Warehouse. Text NESN to 66960 to receive a coupon for $20 off your next purchase of $100 or more at Men's Warehouse, and data rates may apply. I knew this would be true because his taste is impeccable, but Joseph Aboud told TC yesterday in the interview in the stands he also has a lot of trouble with the Oriole colors on this particular trip here for the Players Weekend.
Right. He's the professional. Got to trust him. Listen to the pro.
I thought he gave you some pretty good advice on a pocket square too.
He did. He did. I'm going to have to go talk to him a little bit more because I'm still confused with that whole situation.
The 1-0.
And then you start adding in like these tie bars, and you have flowers you can put in your jacket lapel area. This is a lot of work.
A lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, collar stays, which where do those go? In the collar somewhere, I'm assuming, but
I got plenty of those. I'm just trying to keep it simple. I hope the shirt looks ironed.
You look good. You kidding me?
It's job one, man. Just iron the shirt.
Do you do your own ironing, or you send it out?
I actually do. And one of my daughters, for a recent birthday gift, bought me one of those irons you can travel with.
Oh.
You know, which I'm breaking out on this trip. So.
They don't have irons in the room?
In some hotels, believe it or not, they don't include the iron. So this is a great little thing. It was a terrific gift. Very, very thoughtful gift.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Now I'm going to get everybody's laundry on the crew. I mean, everyone's going to be. Mike Narachi's going to be sending me his shirts.
Well, I know who I got to go to now. Perfect.
Not that good at it. Trying. 3-2. Fouled back by Mookie. Doubled in the first inning.
Obi, I've said it a couple times. I'm going to go with the mini steamer every time over the iron. Perfect for travel.
I love it. You know, bring your own stuff, bring your own gear, right?
Now everyone's going to be coming to my room to borrow my mini steamer. That's going
to. Your mini steamer. Sounds like something you drive, doesn't it? That's ball 4 on Mookie.
Look at those glasses. She's still feeling the effects from the concussion, I think.
I hope not.
Look at those things.
Well, guys, you were talking about how bright these Orioles uniforms are. It's a good thing I brought these glasses because I need them. That orange is so loud.
It is loud. That's the word for it. Absolutely loud. I mean, enough of this.
I took the shades off, and then I'm like, nope, got to put them back on.
Hey, that's the fashion statement nowadays. I'm sure my daughter's probably drooling over. She would love them.
Mookie aboard here. Red Sox trail 2-0. Hanley 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Does have one career home run against Wade Miley. Has one of the better pickoff moves in the game, actually.
He definitely does. He's got, I think, since 2011, he's the 3rd best pickoff numbers in the game. 28 pickoffs since the start of 2011. Base runners this year has had pretty good success. They're 5 for 8, but you got to be careful. Don't want to run into an out right here with Hanley up.
Down the line, that'll drop in for a base hit. Mookie rounding, heading for 3rd. And he's going to dive in there safely. A base hit for Hanley Ramirez.
Nice.
And the Red Sox are on the corners with 2 down.
Good piece of hitting. That's him still. He didn't waver from his approach. He kept his same approach. He did pull the ball, but at the same time, he wasn't trying to pull it for a home run. He was just trying to get a little single. Sometimes a little broken bat single can get you out of a little slump. He's a professional hitter. He knows what he's doing.
Chris Young will be next. He's 0 for 1 with a pop-up to 3rd base. Red Sox looking to get on the scoreboard, which they were unable to do yesterday. Shut out for the 10th time. This is where you see Miley slow down his tempo quite a bit with men on base. That'll be ball 1.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's just him trying to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. He wants to make his good pitches. He's got to think about what he wants to do. That way he doesn't rush into it and make a mistake and give up a 3-run homer, which wouldn't be a bad thing for the Red Sox.
Good shot, but foul. Of course, this is the Players' Weekend, and to commemorate the first one, this weekend at MLBshop.com, limited edition Red Sox jerseys and tees featuring the nicknames are available while supplies last at MLBshop.com. Off the outside, good take by Young there on the curveball, on the count 2-1.
See what Miley's trying to do there. He's been working that cutter in all day long. He was able to get him out last at bat with that cutter in. So obviously, as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, I've got to adjust. I got to make that adjustment. So he kind of slowed him down with a curveball away, and now he's going to come back in. Ooh,
it's wickedly, yeah, that almost got Mookie.
Great play by the ball girl, though.
So you're always impressed by the fielding. I know that, the defense.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes the ball girls down the line can kind of pump up a team as well.
They're really good. You're talking about outstanding softball players most of the time who can really play.
Yeah.
You know, collegiate Division I, outstanding players. 2-2. Full count.
Fell down there. Really finished his pitch. No, that is impressive. I mean, I've been San Francisco. You got those older guys. Sometimes it's fun to watch those guys trickle after a ball.
Yeah.
I think trickle's a good word. I'm not sure.
3-2. Betts at third. Hanley Ramirez at first. Crowd would like a run or two. Strike three called, and boy, that was awfully generous by Brian Onora. Strike three. Red Sox will strand two. Left 5 men so far in this one.
No.
And the Red Sox still trailing here 2-0 to the Orioles. Let's go back to that called third strike. That was off the corner by a lot.
Definitely. It was further off than the pitch earlier when he called it a ball. And that's the toughest thing as a hitter. You get a call, a ball, so that's where you know the strike zone's at, and you throw there again, and of course you're not going to swing, and then he calls it.
The question now is Chris still in the game?
I'm not sure. It looked like he threw him out of the game, but I couldn't tell. He grabbed his stuff and went down in the tunnel.
And then John Farrell just came out right before we returned from the commercial break, and he was pretty hot arguing with Onora, so you got to wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to lose Siwa. I mean, he's such a big part of that lineup, and he crushes lefties, so you definitely don't want him out of there.
Well, he had an at-bat taken away from him there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him one bit. I mean, in that situation, especially the way these games have gone the past few days, you want to keep your offense going. He was walking right there. Now you got bases loaded with Xander coming up. I mean, that's the difference of a game right there.
Well, things here in recent days have not been going the Red Sox way, that's for sure. Here's Jones now in tight. He doubled and scored a run in the first inning. He'll be followed by Mancini and Davis. The 2-1 from Pfister.
Yeah, and things can go two different ways. You can either allow an umpire to affect you and it can affect you the rest of the game, or you can forget about that and say, you know, in spite of him, I'm going to go ahead and take matter into my own hands. But in that situation there, when it's taken out of your hands, it's so tough to be able to swallow that.
Two fouled back.
Pfister's done a great job today. He's just going after these guys. He's not afraid. He's got both pitches working to both sides of the plate. That's the key. Miss the barrels.
Payoff pitch to Jones, and he won't chase. That'll be ball 4. So the leadoff man is on. First walk issued by Doug today. Red Sox Showcase, Red Sox Virtual Reality, and the Virtual Reality Home Run Challenge are all available for your next event. For more information, email Red Sox Showcase at redsox.com or call 617-226-6900. Mancini's been a bright light for the Orioles this season. When he's done with his bat, comes in with a 5-game hitting streak. He hit 8 home runs in his first 17 major league games and matched the major league record.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the good, bright young spots in baseball today.
That's a bullet. That's into the alley. Betts to try and cut it. He will. They'll hold him to a base hit down to third. Jones stopping there.
Wow, great throw.
Mancini with his second hit today, 2 for 2 off Fister.
Tell you, for a kid with such power and being a young guy, he's not trying to lift and pull like a lot of the young guys, and they're teaching nowadays to get that launch angle or whatever. He's not trying to do too much. He knows what he can do. He stays up the middle, nice swing, quiet, easy, takes his hits.
Doesn't get a whole lot of attention, and a lot of that has to do, I think, with the standings and the kind of year the Orioles have had. But
yeah,
you know, he's been hitting around 290, 22 homers, driven in 70 runs, has a chance at 100. Ground ball knocked down by Hanley Ramirez, and will get the out at first. He's in some pain right now, and down he goes on a knee.
That's not a good sign.
Runners at second and third, but Hanley is in trouble. Recovered to get Davis at first base for the out.
Did a great job keeping it in front, staying with it. I think it hit him somewhere.
Yes,
we
it
can't
did.
really talk about.
Yeah.
But
he has a right to be in pain.
You got the best trainer in the league, Masai, out there.
You've been there.
Yeah, and this is one of the pains I didn't like. I like the rest of the pains, but this was the one that can affect you for a while.
Mancini moving down to second, and Jones held at third base. And he recovered enough to make sure he got the out at first base.
Yeah, that's great awareness. I mean, he was definitely in some pain, but he knew the play wasn't over. He stuck with it.
You can have the greatest trainer who ever did the job, but there's nothing he can do.
Nothing.
This is all about time.
Give him some water or something. Cold spray. And so he just threw the ball.
Yeah.
Here, take it. Time.
Take it. I'm
whatever.
done. Yeah. Can't blame him.
No.
Would have the same reaction. So second and third, one away for Trumbo, who struck out in the second inning. Sox with sole possession of first place, but the race for the top spot in the East is not slowing down. Take the Sox with you wherever you go. Live stream any NESN Red Sox game on your favorite device. Perfect for all your weekend plans. Visit NESNGO.com or download the NESN Go app. Nubber. Fister looks back the runner and gets the out at first base.
Great job.
2 down.
Great job in that situation there. You know you got first base open, so there's 1 out. You can leave first base open. You don't have to throw a pitch down the middle. You got so many things you can do with another right-hander on deck, and you're a ground ball pitcher. So he doesn't have to give in to him. And there he threw a pitch way off the plate. Trumbo went after it and was able to get it out without a run scoring.
That sends up Wellington. Castillo to catcher. He's 0 for 1, a grounded to short. A 3-game hitting streak for Castillo.
Yeah, last two batters have swung at the first pitch, so they're definitely an aggressive team. But it goes to show you, it doesn't matter how aggressive you are. If you can make your pitches, if you can make your ball move, it doesn't really matter because you're able to get outs.
Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Hits are even at 4. The 0-1 from Fister. Sox are heading for Toronto, and a 3-game series with the Blue Jays. Drew Pomeranz will go on Monday. Big Smooth chasing his 14th win. Chris Sale 14-6 goes Tuesday, and Rick Porcello on Wednesday. All night games, and that's on to the Bronx. That's scalded into the stands.
Heads up. Guy had a glove, but he didn't use it.
Got there quick.
Got there real quick. Imagine if you're at third, it's a little quicker. Yeah, I expect Big Smooth to have a good game against Toronto. He's got that big curveball. Tends to give Toronto hitters a little trouble when you have a good breaking ball. Just hope that it's on. And he's able to throw it for strikes and be able to bury it when he needs to. Some big series coming up.
I thought Pomeranz had some of his best stuff all season last time out in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He did walk a few guys, but he also had 9 punch-outs.
He's come on strong. He's done really, really well. And the key to his success is that breaking ball. When that breaking ball's on, obviously staying healthy as well. But if that breaking ball's on, I mean, it's tough to kind of sit back on that and sit on the fastball as well. So you kind of have to pick one of the two.
Jones at third, Mancini at second. Fister trying to get out of this 4th inning. Long at bat here by Castillo.
That's a good thing about a guy like Fister. His ball moves so much. He threw a curveball there, 2-2. Obviously probably wasn't trying to throw it up and in like that, but because it's so slow and his fastball's so good, he's able to keep a good hitter off balance and couldn't do anything with it but foul it off.
Fister facing the Orioles for the first time this year.
Ooh. Oh. Wow.
Tell you what, I thought that pitch in that spot struck out Chris Young.
He's going to start hearing it from the dugout, that's for sure, because all you ask for from an umpire, and it's not easy. These guys' job's not easy, but you just want to be consistent, and that's all you're looking for.
And right now, Brian O'Nora is not too consistent.
I'm sure Sandy's back there talking to him a little bit, trying to butter him up a little bit and help his pitcher out.
So he didn't say, hey, you missed it.
I'm not there. I've had guys say that, yeah, but I typically wasn't that. I would just be like, hey, we need to get that pitch too on both sides.
3-2 and scooped up by Devers on a nice play and fires on to retire the side. Youngster making a big play there. 2-0 Baltimore. I talked about it at length yesterday. Text 1 for yes, 2 for no. Text your answer to 536 536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 message per vote.
Yes.
I believe it is too.
I'm texting right now.
But there's nothing we can do about it.
Nope.
Like the training staff on the injury to Hanley, there's nothing we can do about it right now.
Right.
Now Xander will lead things off. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Red Sox have had some chances here early on. They've left 5 men on base.
They have, but last inning I don't think was anything they could possibly do about it. That was out of their hands. CY's at bat was just completely taken out of his hands. Like I said, it's tough. It's not an easy job those guys do behind the plate. And
now Chris Young is still steaming. He remains in the game as the designated hitter, but he is not a happy camper, nor should he be. A line drive and caught by Machado. It was just a vacuum cleaner at third base. Out number 1.
Yeah, that ball always seems to find his glove like a magnet.
Little bit upset. This was after I think he had gone down and taken a look at the at bat on video maybe, and then came back up the stairs. He was barking at Brian O'Nora, but
yeah, and he has every right to do that. I mean, these guys are human and they understand that we're all trying to accomplish the same goal. We want to be the best we can out there. The tough part for CY is that he's got to sit there and wait until his next at bat.
And then the fascinating relationship with the umpire resumes.
Yes, that can be awkward at times. But hey, like I said, we're all trying to do our job. CY's trying to do his job. He's just letting him know, as the umpires would do the same. And Brian's a good guy. I know he's probably talked to him next at bat and say, listen, I'm sorry, I thought it was good.
Rajai Davis 0 for 1. He's grounded to third. 1 man gone. I do think what it comes down to, I've been told this by so many hitters, and you echoed it a little bit earlier, it's consistency. If that pitch is a strike for one pitcher, it's got to be a strike for all pitchers. Ground ball to Pickham, and he's going to be safe at first base, and that's a glimpse of Davis and how fast he is up that line.
Speed never takes a day off, I'm telling you. I joke about catchers being fast, but I have no clue what it's like to be that fast. That would be so much fun to actually have the breeze at the front of your face as opposed to behind your back.
Infield hit for Davis. And even with a lefty with a great pickoff move like Miley, he's a threat to go.
Oh, without a doubt. And I mean, this is a situation right now where Rajai, if he could take that base, it could pump up a team. It could get, that single right there. I'm sure the guys in the dugout are like, all right, let's go, especially after the way last inning ended. Little things like that, the little things in this game that can lift a team and get a winning streak going. It's huge.
Rajai, the man who led the American League in stolen bases last year.
Yeah.
He runs. Here's the throw, the tag, and he is going to be out. Cut down on the toss by Castillo.
Great throw by Wellington. I mean, he had a huge jump, had a huge lead, huge jump. Miley gave Wellington every opportunity to throw him out on a pitch out over the plate, and just nothing you can do about that. He made a great throw.
But the pitch was effectively a pitch out.
It pretty much. I mean, it was able to give Wellington get his feet moving. It was up and away from the hitter, so he didn't have to worry about going around him. Wellington was able to keep his feet going right towards the bag and made a great throw right on the money.
Well, it's been a frustrating day, very frustrating series for the Boston Red Sox, trailing here 2-0. Devers first time up, hit one high off the monster and left for a double.
Yeah, and even though he got thrown out, you still don't change anything. You still have to be aggressive because that's when mistakes can happen. Yeah, he made a great throw there, but next inning you never know. He does it again. He throws it into center field. You're at third. You got to continue to put the heat on that defense. Yeah, as you can see, Wellington here, he's ready for the pitch. He knows where it's going to be. He's short. He's quick. He's a little guy as it is anyway, so it's easier for him to make that throw.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And in the end, Wade Miley faces only 3 batters. Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC and Jim Rice break it all down. You'll hear from Doug Fister and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but W.B. Mason. Sox trailing 2-0. Orioles got those in the first inning off of Doug Fister. He has blanked them since on 1 hit. Gave up 3 hits in the first. First man in here in the 5th inning will be Seth Smith. He has grounded out to first base.
It's good to see the Red Sox are getting on base, though. I mean, especially the past 2 nights, they've been struggling to do that. So the fact that they're getting on base, they're trying to get things going. You know, obviously kind of got taken out of it the other an inning or 2 ago, but they're getting on.
Rajai Davis thrown out, trying to steal second base on a pretty much perfect throw by the catcher Wellington Castillo, and some watching might have thought that actually was a pitch out.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a thought process in the catcher's mind and the pitcher's mind. They know fast guys at first, so they're going to be a little bit quicker to the plate, give their catcher a chance, and a catcher's going to originally he's going to call a game to get the batter out. But if there's a situation where everything lines up and you can throw a pitch, I'm sure Miley knew he was going, so he kind of threw it a little bit up and away for him to be able to handle it. You know, the Cardinals are great at that with Yachty. They know when Yachty wants to throw to first and do a back pick, so he'll call a slider in a situation he may not, and the pitcher knows, okay, I got to throw it up and in off the plate.
And that's going to be ball 4, just below the strike zone. So Smith is on. Top of the order, Beckham next. Stay tuned after the 3rd out of this half inning for the mid-5th studio show with TC and Jim Rice. Beckham with a base hit. He's also hit the ball hard on the line drive to center. It was caught by Davis. Red Sox got some good news yesterday. Jackie Bradley is recovering quickly and ahead of schedule.
That's great news. They need all hands on deck. They need everybody. Beckham's had one of those years that's, you know, he's gotten better every year. When he first came to the league, his first year, he was really aggressive and kind of just swung at everything. And then the next year, he was gotten a little bit better, taking those pitches. And then this year, he's just kind of above and beyond, changed his whole approach.
Well, dealt at the end of July from Tampa Bay to Baltimore, became the first player in modern history to record 13 hits and 3 home runs in his first 5 games with the Orioles. So,
yeah, and that's strange that you get traded within your division. You don't see that very often.
Not too much.
But he's done well since he's gotten here.
6-game hitting streak at the moment. He has a man at first base, nobody out. 2-2.
Yeah, he's filled in nicely for an injured J.J. Hardy, who in his own right has done great things since he's gotten to Baltimore. As you can see, his home run numbers have tripled. Average has gone up. He's really done well for himself, and you always want to build off of those mistakes you made in the past and try and fix them.
Sox with a 3.5-game lead on the Yankees. The Yankees once again have gotten out to a pretty sizable lead on Seattle, 7-1 in the 5th inning in the Bronx.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, it's always nice to get help from other teams when you're in this hunt like this. But ultimately, as a team, you can't look at other teams to help you out. You got to help yourself.
2-2, got jammed.
Wow. Kind of the opposite of yesterday. He fought some pitches off away, and then looking for that pitch in. Off of Doug, it looks like he was kind of fighting that inside pitch off and looking for something out over the plate, which is normal for a guy that's got a good sinker and a good cutter. So as we talked about, he's changed his approach. He changed his approach game to game, at bat to at bat, and that's what good hitters do.
Off speed hammer, and that's a foul ball. Red Sox trying to avoid a sweep by Baltimore for the first time in 2 years and 3 years at Fenway.
Yeah, that's tough. That's been tough to do for sure. Like we said, they've run through. They've done it a couple times this year where they've run through a stretch of 3 games that they've lost. They just got to figure out what they did to change that and do it now. I mean, it's just it's going to get magnified.
Yeah, this time of the year has a lot to do with that, doesn't it?
Without a doubt. And regardless if you're in it or not, I mean, Baltimore's definitely still in it with the wild card hunt. But I know from in the past with Buck, he doesn't care if they're in it or not. I mean, he's not a big fan of the Boston Red Sox, and he would love nothing more than to come out of this series with a sweep.
I don't know what would ever give you that idea.
There was an article in one of these papers I read a few years back.
Yeah. I think he hates the Red Sox. I know he does.
Right.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Fister puts away Beckham after a pretty good battle there for out number 1.
He's made it known. He's not shied away from it. That's for sure.
He really hasn't. In everything he does.
There's probably not a job for him over here if something happens over there.
You don't think if he ever gets fired in Baltimore, he's going to get in the car and drive to Fenway.
Probably not going to be his first phone call, I don't think.
Yeah, be right on the doorstep. But yeah, I think you're probably right about that. But
yep,
he's a fine manager.
He's definitely, regardless of what you think about him, he is a really, really good manager. He's smart. He's on top of things. There's not too much he misses in a game.
He might be the best in the game at managing a bullpen.
Without a doubt. And he loves September. Let me tell you something. When September comes, he will use every single guy he's got down there if he has to.
The one glaring mistake was not getting Britton into the game in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to live with that one. But
I'm sure he had a reason for it, and I'm sure it was a good one. Not looking on the other side, I'm sure.
No, it's still puzzling. But he is terrific managing a bullpen.
Yeah, and he does a really good job with what he's got.
Machado with a fly ball into left center field. Benintendi with a read on that. 2 down. Scope on the way up next. CVS Health is investing $50 million over 5 years to expand their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives and move us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cvshealth.com/be-the-first. Scope to climb in hitless today with a couple of ground balls, 1 to third, 1 to second. 2-0 Orioles in the 5th.
Yeah, he's done a great job with Scope. You know, one of their hottest hitters, one of their best hitters. You can see that fastball there. He just lets it run in off. He's not afraid to go in, which I think is what makes him so good, is that he keeps hitters honest. You know, he doesn't stay on one side of the plate. He stays inside, outside, cuts it, occasional changeup. You know, and when he goes in, he's not going to miss over the plate. As you can see here, he gets it in there, and it starts around the corner, so it looks so good, and then it just kind of runs off the plate. I think Sandy's giving the umpire a little bit of time right here because that ball kind of fouled off of him. That's that relationship you have to have with an umpire. You give him a few seconds, and Brian is one of the good ones where you can talk to him. He's going to be honest with you. He's going to give you feedback. You can give him feedback, and he's not going to be hurt about it. As you can see there, he's giving a little bit of time. Hopefully that'll help him later on in the game, and he can get a call.
Did you feel that happen once in a while?
Yeah, I definitely did. There was a lot of times where, you know, that relationship you have with an umpire that can carry to an at bat.
Might get your call. Ground ball backing up Devers into second with a force to retire the side. 1 man left. Red Sox looking for offense. Time to turn it over now to TC and Jim for the mid-5th studio show, guys. presented by AAA. We'll be looking back at Doug Fister's one-hitter against the Indians, plus the plays of the week tonight at 6 right here on NESN. So at the midway point, Red Sox have been shut out on 5 hits by Wade Miley, who came in with an ERA over 5. Trying to solve him now. It'll be Leon, Nunez, and Benintendi.
And Jim said it perfect. I know that he gave up 2 runs. It was early in the game, and I think the Red Sox are okay with that because they're in a situation where, you know, 2-run homer can tie it. A lot of things can happen. I mean, they're in a better situation right now than they have been.
Red Sox at the moment, even with the 3-game losing skid, still 1 game ahead of last year's pace. And about to head off for Toronto. Miley, former Red Sox lefty, and that one is swung on and drilled high and deep to left field. Back it goes and high off the wall. Sandy taking a turn. Back to first base he goes. And only in Fenway Park is that a single.
Right. I mean, as quick as he is, he hit that ball so hard he didn't have time to be able to get around the bases to get to second. Did a great job just putting barrel on the ball. You don't have to do too much. He wasn't trying to do too much. As you can see, he's got that perfect stride leading forward. Would have been nice to have a fan kind of pick that ball up for us. I mean, great turn right there. You can see the dirt kicking up. Way to get things started.
Red Sox with his 6th hit off of Miley, and that one almost got out. Here's Nunez. Chopper to third. Machado to second base. Got that one, and that's all they get. So Nunez now the runner at first base in front of Benintendi. Nunez very aggressive, swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, he's an aggressive swinger. Yeah, I said earlier, he's a guy that I felt like did better off of off-speed stuff. I feel like he's still going to be able to do something to help this team. You know, I hope that wrist is okay. A couple nights ago, that slide into second base, you know, that can affect you.
Benintendi with a base hit, and he's also grounded back to the pitcher. Orioles up 2-0.
Nooney can run, steal some bases as well. He's had some hamstring issues this year, I know, but he looks pretty good and healthy.
You do have to wonder about the wrist and the thumb injury that he suffered the other night. He toughed it out. He got right back in there the next day. A lot of treatment by the staff got him right back in there, but you are talking about hand injuries.
Right, which you need.
Right, and how long will that linger? Even if he feels well enough to play, how does it affect his swing and a lot of other things?
Yeah, and that's the tough thing as a ball player, as a competitor. You want to be in there every game, and it's that tough fine line of deciding, you know, am I well enough to be able to help my team, or am I going to hurt my team? And that was something I was told at a young age and in my career is, you know, if you feel like you can hurt your team, then you take yourself out of the game. You don't go out there. But if you feel like you can't hurt your team and you're going to be able to perform, then play.
Nunez 21 stolen bases.
You know, got a 2-0 count here. Benny's got to still look for one pitch, one location, not trying to do too much.
2-1. Tonight at 10 on NESN Sports Today, we save you time with the latest on all the breaking news. NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Betts waiting on deck. And a 2-1 moves him back.
In there, I mean, there are certain counts that you can run in. 2-1 counts are typically a good count to run in. It's an off-speed count. It's also a pitch sequence where the pitcher's trying to throw a strike, doesn't want to fall behind. But being as Miley is a left-handed pitcher, it's a little tougher off of guys like that than it is a righty.
off the plate for ball 4. So the Red Sox have something brewing. First and second, one down, and Betts coming up. Mookie in this one with a double and a walk. A's Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets. Treat yourself for someone special with tickets to a game. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS.
We talked about him. The Red Sox have done a great job of being able to get guys on base, which is something they weren't able to do yesterday. They were just not finding the holes. Today they've been able to find the holes. It's just going to take one swing of the bat. They can put him back in this ball game and give him a lead.
Well, they have the right man up. Mookie Betts hitting .381 with runners in scoring position. That leads the American League.
Yeah, and Mookie's been swinging the bat well. He's had some success. He knows who's on deck. I mean, there's no holes in this lineup regardless of where you go, but I think Miley knows that, and he's going to make sure that he's going to have him beat him to the big part of the park. If I'm behind the plate, I'm definitely knowing that the left field wall is a short porch, so I'm going to try and stay away from him. If I go in, it's going to be in off the plate.
0-1 will miss. And of course, what he's done against the Orioles. Last year, 19 games against Baltimore, he hit .408, 9 homers. Against the Birds.
He's had their number. And knowing what Hanley, I mean, I'm sure that they've got numbers in the, that was a pretty good pitch. They've got numbers in the dugout and they've got numbers in the clubhouse, and that's for the pitching coach to know. So I'm sure that, you know, Wellington and Miley aren't inside looking at numbers, but knowing that Hanley struggled this year with guys in scoring position, I'm sure they would much rather, you know, face him as opposed to Mookie, who's done a great job against him.
Nunez and Benintendi aboard, and that one hit toward the alley in right center field. Well struck coming on Smith, though. He leaps for it. He makes the catch, tagging up Nunez, heading into third. Is the throw. The tag, he's safe. There's a near collision out there between Jones and Smith.
Yeah, not often do you see Adam Jones near a baseball and not be the one to catch it. And Nooney did a great job of getting back and being able to tag up to get to third base. Yeah, that could have been bad. You saw Adam calling it. He had no clue where Smith was. Wow, this could have been bad. Center fielder is always in control. He's the one that is controlling the outfield. He has the priority over everybody else out there. He's got priority over infielders. So you don't often see that, especially with Adam Jones out there.
It's the way the last 3 or 4 games have gone for the Red Sox. They almost butchered it, but they didn't.
Right, and that's the way it goes, and that's part of baseball. You just got to let it go, turn the page, and get on to the next one.
Well, here's Hanley Ramirez now, strikeout and a single. Red Sox have left 5 men on base today. Benintendi the runner at first, Nunez at third.
Yeah, and sometimes in that situation, especially in Fenway Park, with the crowd being so loud, you know, you can't hear each other. You're both going after the ball. You're both trying to yell and call for it, but sometimes you don't hear the other outfielder. And they're talking about it right now, just trying to discuss, hey, let's figure this out. We don't want to go on the DL this time of season.
2-0, good count for Hanley.
It's a great count. They're pitching him a little bit different this at bat. You know, that typically happens. First 2 at bats, you try and you know, go to the hitter's weaknesses, and you're trying to just get him out, and then, you know, he's got to hit his last at bat. So now this at bat, they're going to try and pitch him a little bit differently. But ultimately, you want to go with the pitcher's strengths. It doesn't matter if it matches up with the hitter's strengths or not.
Two and one.
Made a good pitch there. 2-0 count. He knows that Hanley's going to be coming out of his shoes. So he threw the cutter, but he made sure he wasn't going to miss over the middle of the plate. And Hanley, that's fine. Take your swings. You got 2 more to work with now.
Hanley with 6 home runs since the All-Star break. 5 of those have given the Red Sox the lead.
Still in the hitter's count.
2-2. Miley's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. Hanley had a couple of men on in the first inning, and he would strike out. He did single his last time up.
Yeah, this is where he just needs to try not to do too much. Try and make contact here.
3-2. On deck, Chris Young.
I'm sure Siwa would love an opportunity right now to be able to make up for that last at bat for sure.
I think he'd love to come up with the bases loaded.
Without a doubt.
Well, the crowd alive. They haven't had much to scream and shout about all weekend. Some life, the throw to first base and back in Benintendi.
Obviously 3-2 count, 2 outs. You got Benny on first. He's probably hoping that maybe he can get him to be a little aggressive and pick him off. He'd rather get the pickoff than have to throw a pitch to Hanley. This is a big pitch. Whatever he throws right here.
And he walked him. Patient at bat there by Hanley Ramirez.
Very good at bat. That's a real tough to lay off those pitch right there. I mean, the first 2 pitches he came out of his shoes on, which he was able to, a 2-0 count, and then he got back to what he does best, is stay small, be short, not try and do too much, and he was able to see some pitches and walk.
And Chris Young coming up to hit, didn't even look at Brian O'Nora. Last time up, here's the reason why he won't look at him. That was a called third strike. You see how far off the corner that it was. O'Nora certainly missed it.
Yeah, and that's a big pitch, big situation right there. I mean, you take a bat out of a guy's hands, it's tough to swallow that.
So he's 0-for-2, but he has the bases loaded, 2 down. And the biggest at bat of the day so far for the Red Sox by far.
Yeah, they've done a great job. They put themselves in situations to score. They just need that one big hit.
So it's Nunez at third, Benintendi at second, and Ramirez at first with 2 away. He takes ball 1.
And knowing what he did to him last at bat, in Siwa's mind, he knows that, you know, how they want to pitch him. He knows that he got struck out on a pitch that was off the plate. He went and looked at it. So in his mind right now, he's got to say, listen, they got me on that last one. I got to forget about that. I can't hit that pitch. That pitch is off the plate. It's a ball. I can't hit it, so I'm not going to look for it. I got to stay true to what I do best.
The 1-0. High fly ball into right. And Smith is going to have to come in on this one. And he's got it. Red Sox leave 3 more men. Been that kind of day. 2-0 Baltimore. Presented by Plainridge Park Casino. TC and Jim Rice preview the Sox next road trip and wrap up today's action across the American League. Jared Saltalamacchia, Salty, along with Dave O'Brien and Garen Austin here from Fenway. We go to the top of the 6th. Sox have left 8 men on base, so they have had good chances. Just left them loaded.
Yeah, it's tough because you're getting such a great performance out of Fister. You don't want to waste those.
Fister's performance reminiscent of what he did the other day in Cleveland. Gave up a base hit to the leadoff man, not a home run in today's action, but that was Tim Beckham. He would score. So would Adam Jones in the first inning. And since then, they have 1 hit.
Yep. He's kept him in the ballgame. He's doing his job.
Rolled off the end of the bat. Hanley with a play on to Fister for the first out. Time now for our Xfinity X1 report. Let's go to Garen.
Hi, OB. Well, a little bit more on Jackie Bradley Jr. He's made some major improvements in the past 48 hours. The way his thumb feels, his range of motion and strength. He did swing in the cage today off the tee as well as soft toss. And John Farrell said it's been a turn for the better, and they fully expect him to be activated at that 10 or 11-day point. Also, David Price threw out to 90 feet again today. Now, Price and Bradley, as well as Dustin Pedroia, will be going on the road trip with the team. So, guys, definitely a good sign that they're all getting closer.
And making the trip. Yeah, a couple of those guys were not on the last trip because they had to stay behind and try and get well. And Garen will be making a trip with us.
Yeah, that is a great sign. Watching Petey not only swing the bat yesterday in BP, but he was running the bases. You know, that's always a good sign.
Mancini with a double, a single. He's 2 for 2. Batting .292, 22 home runs, 70 runs batted in.
Sometimes the reaction of the hitter can tell you some things too. His last at bat, he got a base hit up to right center. That pitch, he was trying to go away. He missed in. In his reaction, you could see he wasn't really expecting that. And then you went in there again. So you're kind of setting him up to be able to maybe do that slider down and away right here.
(2-2) to the rookie.
Tried to go with the fastball away there, kind of missed over the plate, but his ball moved so much he couldn't really do anything with it. Still think I think a slider right here would be a good pitch, something going away from his barrel.
Exactly what they did.
Good pitch.
He struck him out. Mancini fans, and they're 2 away. Time now to check out the results of our Granite City Electric poll question. Do you think the defensive shift is overused? All the rage in baseball these last 10 years or so. And 83% of you agree with us.
Yes. Listen to the people.
Davis gets in here. He's gone 0 for 2. The question is, should it be legislated? A lot of people think if you set rules against so much shifting, that might be the way to go. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it's a fine line. It's tough because, you know, I mean, the shift can be beat too. So I mean, at the same time, there's some negatives to it. You know, it's just at the discretion of the team how they want to use it. And we talked about scouting reports and all that stuff. Scouting reports are great, but you had to ultimately make the pitch. And we talked about Mancini there with something going away from his barrel. You know, it looks like a great pitch because he made his pitch. It looks like a great idea.
Base hit up the middle. Well, he beat it there.
Yeah.
So Davis is on. He's 1 for 3.
You know, a pitcher can make a catcher look good. A catcher can make a pitcher look good. You know, but when they sync together like today, it makes everybody look good, and it can be a beautiful thing.
5th hit of the ball game for the Orioles off Fister. That'll bring up Trumbo. He has whiffed and grounded back to the mound. But he is one of 6 Orioles who have hit 20 home runs or more. That's the most in the majors for any one team.
Yeah, and he's definitely struggled against Fister in his career. So it's always nice to see. But at any given time, anything can happen, especially with a guy who's a 40 home run hitter.
You mentioned it, though. He's 1 for 14 lifetime against Fister. Yankees still lead Seattle 7-1, 6th inning. Sox trail here at Fenway 2-0 in the 6th. One and a fly ball into right field. Mookie will charge, and he's got it. Side retired, no runs ahead, 1 man left, still 2-0 Baltimore. The reason why the Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin'. Dunkin's iced coffee is smooth and delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee #1 in New England. The Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. Bottom 6. Miley shutting out the Red Sox to this point. After Gausman did it yesterday, Red Sox falling 7-0.
Yeah, he shut him down, but in doing that, his pitch count has gone up. So this may be his last inning, and the Red Sox could be happy with that. Boys need some runs so they can have a happy flight.
This will be pitch number 96. Xander Bogaerts has struck out and lined out. Michael Givens loosening in their pen.
Just another guy in the pen that throws 97.
2-1. Xander hit the ball very sharply last time, but Machado ate it up.
Yeah, hit it to the wrong guy.
It's been said before about the 25-year-old third baseman of the Orioles.
Yeah, he doesn't mitch too much. Between him and Arenado, both divisions, that's two of the best defensive third basemen you're going to find.
I agree. That's 1A, however you want to cut it, among third basemen.
It's some of the amazing. I mean, Machado's made some of the most amazing throws I've ever seen. Arenado's made some of the snags with his glove.
Tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC and Jim preview the Sox next road trip to Toronto and New York. Miley with his 100th offering.
You know, Miley's done a good job in situations where it's a 2-0 hitters count. He's made his pitches right on the corner. He's betting on the hitters to swing, so he makes that cutter start right on the corner and swing off the plate, mixing in both sides.
Toward the gap, nobody out there. It splits the outfielders up against the wall.
There you go.
Xander to second base. Second time today he's hit it right on the button, but this time he has something to show for it.
Yeah, he stayed away from that third baseman and made sure he went to the gap. Get a nice double to get things started off this inning. Buck's going to come out. Not sure if he's going to make the change or have a little talk.
Rajai Davis, the next man to hit. He's gone 1 for 2, and he has made the move as you look at the double by Xander Bogaerts. So there will be a pitching change. That's it for Miley, who was very tough today. Red Sox got him for 7 hits, no runs yet, but Bogaerts belongs to him. Givens coming on, and we'll have more from Fenway Park in just a moment. Infinity Empower the Drive, Plainridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. And by Subaru Retailers of New England, supplying all-wheel drive vehicles with a lot to love. Now manager Buck Showalter going to the bullpen. He removes Wade Miley, who went 5+. He's responsible for Xander Bogaerts, who just doubled. So Michael Givens on his 56th appearance. He's been very good, 7-1 to 242.
Yeah, this guy's a tough pitcher. He's a guy that's a little funky of a motion, not completely sidearm, kind of 3/4, but throws a real hard fastball and a good slider to match that.
Rajai has singled and grounded out. He was caught stealing in the 4th inning, gunned down by Wellington Castillo.
Yeah, I wouldn't look for Rajai to throw a bunt down, but he's going to do the best he can to make sure he gets Xander over to third base.
Oh. High and tight to knock down Rajai. And to get down quickly.
Yeah, here's a fastball that just got away from him. With that funky of a motion, sometimes you don't have that same delivery and the same release point, so you struggle with that. I'm not sure that he was doing that on purpose, but definitely make you brush back a little bit.
Devers on deck. Last 2 games, the Red Sox unable to score. Right through there. Back to the caught stealing in the 4th inning.
Yeah, Rajai had a great jump. Wellington just did a great job. He had to do everything perfect in that throw, in that situation, to be able to get Rajai out, and he did. Rajai can't blame him. He was just trying to get things moving.
2-2. As we said, it was just about a pitch out. Had the same effect.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to give his catcher enough time. He was quick to the plate. He was able to give him something out over the plate that he can clear himself of the hitter and make a good throw down to second base. Did a great job today.
Bogaerts off second, and he went chasing, and down he goes, strike 3. So Givens gets his first man. He fans Davis, 1 away.
Yeah, Givens is not the easiest pitcher to face. He's a guy that can be effectively wild, as you saw with the fastball that went up and in, and then he comes back and makes 3 great pitches on that outside corner. This is a situation that the Red Sox need to somehow capitalize on. Just some kind of positive going into this last 3 innings.
One down, Bogart's at second base. That was a massive cut. 0-2 on Rafael.
And these are the situations that are tough for a young hitter. As good as Devers is, he hasn't faced a lot of these guys, so he's not sure. He's faced them for the first time. And in a situation like this with a guy in scoring position, you really got to rely on your hitting coaches, the guys in front of you, and really just have a good approach.
Well, he had a tough trip to Cleveland. You know you're going to face good pitching there, and the Red Sox did. He went 1 for 16 against the Indians. We'll see if that second inning double that he had today gets him out of this mini slump.
Yeah, and as a young hitter, whether it's minor leagues, big leagues, he probably hasn't had a lot of failure in his career. So it's kind of interesting to see how guys react when they start to have failure. Are they going to allow it to affect them? Is their attitude going to change? I haven't seen his attitude change one bit, which is always a good thing to see. Stay with that same approach you did earlier, peppering that wall.
And ran in on the handle. It was also 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, like I said, this guy's got great stuff. He can make it go away from me. He can throw that slider that goes down and in. A lot of weapons to be able to get you out. Even more reason not to try and do too much.
Orioles hanging on to a 2-0 lead at the moment. Red Sox with a man at second base. And 1 out.
He's fighting. He's fighting off the inside pitch, fighting the away pitch, hoping he makes a mistake.
There was a changeup away. So you get that change about 86, fastball around 96, 97.
Yep. The changeup off the plate away. Rafael did a good job being able to keep that barrel on the ball to be able to foul it off and give himself another shot.
1-2.
He's doing a great job just fighting for his life up there, not trying to do too much. And that's the good thing about having an approach of just trying to pepper that wall, because the fastballs you're hitting that way, anything that's slower and off speed, your barrel speed kind of runs into it, and a lot of good things can happen when that happens.
He loves to swing the bat, that's for sure. He will not be up there looking for a walk. Just over 100 major league at bats, and he has walked 10 times.
Which is normal for a young hitter. You're not going to see them. You know, they're in the minor leagues. They come up. They want to make an impact in the game. They want to make an impact for their team. So you're going to go up there swinging the bat, and I like to see that.
Like that. That's a fair ball down the line. That's going to skip down into the corner. The run is in. Xander Bogaerts touches home, and Devers is into second. His second double, and the Red Sox finally break through here against the Orioles.
Nice swing, nice at bat. Like I said, he was fouling pitches off, really just staying alive, fighting for his life, waiting for him to make a mistake. He made a mistake, fastball in, and he was able to turn on it. Just a great at bat by a young player that's got a lot of good things ahead of him, a bright future.
The Red Sox with their first run across home plate since Friday night. It feels a lot longer than that for some reason, but that makes it 2-1.
It does, but that's something like that can get a team's momentum in the right way, get the crowd standing up.
Well, this is a very promising sign, because Devers had been in that 2 for 24, but he's doubled twice today. He's gone off the wall, and he's also smoked that one down the right field line, going foul line to foul line. And now Sandy Leone's 1 for 2 with a single.
Yeah, that is a great sign, and that's the approach you have to have, is being short and being quick to the ball, able to hit the ball to both sides of the field. And I know that's going to make that man right there, Chili Davis, a happy man to be able to see his young hitter be able to come in a clutch situation like that.
Just drove in his 17th run of the season. Here's the 0-1. Sox had been 0 for their last 10 with runners in scoring position until the Devers double.
And let me tell you, Chile is a great hitter, but not only was he a great hitter, he was a great clutch hitter. He had some of the biggest hits in his career, so I know that having that in the back of your head, you can go to him about anything. So I'm sure he's be able to talk and maybe give some of his experiences to these young hitters.
Time granted to Sandy here by the home plate ump Honora. That run is charged to Wade Miley, incidentally, and close the book on him.
Givens being a guy that has that good fastball, good slider, likes his changeup, obviously. He's been staying in on these hitters, trying to get him to be aggressive on his fastball in, so he can use that changeup.
Only one out. Devers at second. Run in. Good take.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. They're on to him. Wellington's going to go out there. He thinks that maybe they got the signs at second the way he took that pitch, but that's just Sandy doing a great job making sure he gets a pitch up in the zone that he can handle. He's not going to swing at your pitch.
Well, don't miss a game as the Sox continue to push to the postseason. You can import the NESN Red Sox schedule into your favorite calendar program today. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import that schedule right now. Red Sox heading off for Toronto and New York, a 7-game trip. And after today, the next home game at Fenway, September 4th against Toronto. They'll start a 9-game homestand. This one was very quick, just 3 games.
Yeah.
The next one will be a lot longer and into September.
Yeah, the schedule's definitely in the Red Sox favor. You saw Wellington right there kind of bounce in, bounce out. You know, a lot of times you feel like that guy in second may not have your signs, but he's got your location. So you try and set up as late as possible so he doesn't give your location. But a lot of times some of the pitchers don't like that. They want you to set up early. They don't care if they're relaying. You know, right there he tried to set up away and then fake him and go back in. You know, a lot of different tactics to do.
2-2. And ball 3. How would the base runner signal, in this case it's Devers, to Sandy Leon what the location is?
There's a lot of different ways to do it. I mean, I've been on a bunch of different teams, and it could be something as simple as if you move your left foot towards the pitcher, then it's going to be on that side of the plate. If you move your right foot, it's going to be on the other side of the plate. Sometimes it's hand gestures, tugging of the leg.
And another walk. Ball 4, first and second, and top of the order Nunez with a chance to do some damage.
That's a great at bat to go 0-2 all the way to 3-2 and get the walk. I mean, those are huge at bats right there.
Now time now for a look at the road ahead, presented by People's United Bank. Talking about that schedule, the 3 in Toronto, 4 against the Yankees, including another one on Sunday Night Baseball next Sunday before the Red Sox get back home for the lengthy homestand. We've got a really long road trip coming up in September to Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and Cincinnati. But the last week of the regular season right here at Fenway Park against Toronto and Houston. 4 games against the Astros, the last 4 of the regular season.
Yeah, but they're I don't know how many they're up in, 12, 17 games in that division. So by that point, they're going to be trying to give some guys some rest. They don't want anyone getting hurt going into the playoffs. They're going to try and mix their rotation around, get everything set up for the playoffs. So it could work in the Red Sox favor if it has to come down to that.
Right now the Astros a 12.5 game lead. I think the only thing that could be different in that philosophy is, would it be for home field advantage throughout the playoffs if the Red Sox do catch them?
Right.
And then those games are going to be very meaningful.
They're going to want home field advantage. I mean, but at the same time, I think that the health of your players going into the playoffs is more important than home field advantage. In 13, we wanted home field advantage so bad, and that's what our goal was as players, but we knew that we had to be smart about it because we had to have every guy available.
Big cut and a miss by Nunez. He's 0 for 3, a pop-up, a grounder, and he's also hit another one into a fielder's choice. Robbie Scott getting loose in the Red Sox pen. First and second. Red Sox trying to tie or take the lead here. 1 down. Doubles by Bogaerts and Devers in the inning. And finally a run in.
Let's see if Nooney can have a big at bat like Sandy did. Got 0-2 and just grinded and fought his way back to be able to get on base.
And Givens with the 0-2. Fouled off the catcher. Blyer active in the bullpen for the Orioles. And you take a special glee. I don't know if viewers at home can hear you laughing whenever a catcher gets absolutely smoked by a foul tip.
You know,
you love it.
I loved it for myself. It's scary because I've seen it too many times where guys have got hit and gotten concussions for it. So it is a scary situation, but I enjoyed it. I'm weird. I don't know.
The 0-2. Oh, knocks him down.
You know, that's the second time he's done that today, and I'm not saying he's doing it on purpose, but there's that foul ball off the mask. It's scary. It's scary. I was there with David Ross when he was out for 2 months with it, and you never want to see it because it can affect you. You know, but as a catcher, I felt like more pain the better.
Well, you said it. You're weird. All you guys are the same.
Yes.
We'll put on those tools of ignorance. 1 down, 2 on. Red Sox with a run up there. They have out hit the Orioles 8-5. 2 of those hits in this inning.
Yeah, they've got the Orioles' backs against the wall right here. They're slowing the situation down, slowing the game down a lot. And the Red Sox, credit to them, they have done a great job of fighting. They're not giving in. They're not going to. They're fouling pitches off. They're making him throw his pitch that they want.
After today, the Sox have 32 games remaining. It's an even split, 16 on the road, 16 at Fenway. And he got him. 99 on the radar gun to strike out Nunez, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, he reared back and put a little extra on that, and not only did he throw 99, but he threw it right in the corner. You know, he's frustrated with himself. He rears back, lets it go. Perfect pitch right in the corner. That's a tough pitch to hit. Doesn't matter who you are.
Showalter is out. That's all for the right-hander. He wants the lefty now for Benintendi, so it'll be Blyer coming in. We'll take the break. 2 down, 1st and 2nd for the Red Sox. 2-1 Baltimore. And game number 130, the Red Sox would beat the White Sox handily 14-2. Tim Wakefield tossed 7 shutout innings to pick up his 16th win of the season. So another pitching change for Buck Showalter. But last time out, he was going for the right-hander and also the left cheek of Brian Butterfield.
Looked like Butter walked into that one. Like he felt some presence behind him. And
yeah, manager lets you know he's there to say hello.
That's one way to say hello.
Buck always makes a special point in his pregame press conferences when he comes to Fenway Park of addressing Fenway as America's most beloved ballpark.
Yeah, he watches a lot of games.
So it's great to be here at America's most beloved ballpark.
Probably not beloved by him, I wouldn't think.
Maybe not at this moment. 2 down. He brings on the lefty Blyer to face Benintendi.
Yeah, Benny has 210 average against lefties this year, but he does have a homer, 8 RBIs. right now would be a pretty good situation to do that. And I think they faced Blyer three games in a row now.
Tying run at second. Benny today with a base hit. He's also grounded the pitcher and taken ball 4. Had a very good month of August with 17 RBIs and 6 homers. Looking to add to that right here. And it'll be ball 3.
Yeah, the Red Sox are in the right part of their lineup they want up right now in these situations. Benny's got to be patient right here. He's just threw 3 balls in a row. You know, not saying you can't swing, but make sure it's your pitch.
3-0. And that is ball 4. He walked him on 4 straight. The man he was brought in to get.
Yeah.
He puts him on to load the bases. Now Buck's been managing this game like it's the 8th or 9th inning here in the 6th.
Yeah, and that can come back and bite you later on, especially if you start running out of guys in the bullpen. But you know, like I said, Buck's not wanting to leave this ballpark unless he's got the sweep, so he's going to do whatever it takes.
Now Mookie coming up, Castro warming up. Let's see if he makes a move or if he sticks with the lefty.
You can see Blyers checking in the dugout to see what's going to happen.
Man, does he want this game? Does he want this sweep? Something fierce?
Bad. Wait, I mean, he manages these games a lot like this anyways, but there's something more every time he plays against the Red Sox.
Well, this sure is. Well, the bases are loaded. And we'll see if it all makes any difference, because Mookie Betts could really spoil it. We'll take the break. All jammed up with 2 down, 2-1 Orioles, and more in a moment. Is brought to you by Amtrak. Save up to 25% with saver fares at Amtrak.com. Red Sox with a golden chance on a golden day. They have the bases loaded up with 2 down, bottom of the 6th inning. Buck Showalter managing away yet another pitching change. He's going to bring on Miguel Castro here, who's acquired by the Orioles from Colorado back in April.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, the good thing about the way these first 2 games have gone for Baltimore is that they do have one of the best closers in the game down there that hasn't pitched in a few days, so he could go a 4-out save, 5-out save. I wouldn't think they'd go a 2-inning save, but with Buck, you never know.
And talking about Zach Britton. So all loaded for Mookie Betts. He has doubled, walked, and flied to center so far today. If you're just tuning in, it is the 6th inning, not the 9th inning.
Don't tell Buck that.
And in there for strike 1.
Yeah, Mookie taking that pitch right there. He hasn't seen this guy. I don't think this guy's thrown against him all year long. He's got a thing appearance against him last year. Gave up three hits, 1 run, but hasn't faced him this year, so he's not sure how he's going to pitch or what he's going to do. He wants to see what he's got, so he took the first pitch. He trusts himself.
Fired in at 97. And Mookie's in the hole 0-2.
Mookie's seen 2 fastballs now. One of them was down on the bottom half of the corner of the plate. You know, he's looking to get something up in the plate that he can do something with, but that's what these guys done this whole inning. They've been grinding, they've been fighting, fouling pitches off.
0-2 downstairs. And of course, now the shadows might also be part of this equation.
Yeah, shadows at this point in the game are real tough. At the same time, those day games can make home plate a lot harder. So as a base runner, you got to pay attention to that. Know that any ball in the dirt could kick away. You know, definitely want to be on your toes.
1-2, bounced it and stopped by Castillo. No advance by Devers at third.
Yeah, Willie did a great job keeping that ball right in front. Like I said, with these day games, it's so tough. Sometimes home plate can get a little bit dry and a little hard, but this pitch stayed right there, and Willie did a great job keeping it in front, protecting that lead they have.
Devers at third, Leon at second, Benintendi at first.
Mookie's got to be looking for a fastball. Not trying to do too much. He just threw 2 sliders in a row in the dirt. They don't want to go 3-2.
Castro ready. 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
Great eye by Mookie. In this situation, it's you got to trust yourself. You got to trust what you got. But I'd be looking fastball for sure. Tried to go away, missed in. Hasn't been able to throw an off-speed pitch for a strike. Crowd's getting into it.
Brothers go, and it's in there for strike 3. He caught him looking. Side retired. Red Sox will have to settle for the 1, and they leave them loaded. They've left 11 men on base today. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Now the Red Sox get on the scoreboard, but they also leave the bases loaded as we go to the 7th inning. It is 2-1 Baltimore. Dave O'Brien alongside Salty, Garrett Austin as well. Red Sox with 11 men left, so that's been painful today, but a tight one here as we go to the 7th, and Fister stays on. Here's Castillo. He's gone 0 for 2. Number 8 hitter. Then Smith and then Beckham.
Yeah, it's tough. They weren't able to capitalize on a big situation. Bases loaded, 3-2 count. Fastball just kind of locked Mookie up a little bit. But positives of it, they were able to get a run out of it. So they're still only 1 run away.
Yankees are piling up the runs today in New York. They lead Seattle in the 8th inning 10-1. Robbie Scott along with Addison Reed working side by side in the Red Sox bullpen.
I'd like to see Addison get in there and then have that big boy go out in the 9th.
Red Sox heading to Toronto. Drew Pomerantz on the bump at Rogers Center tomorrow evening, 7:07 for Game 1. Chris Sale on Tuesday and Rick Porcello on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'd like to see Pfister have a good clean inning this inning. Red Sox come up, score a few runs. You know, he's pitched well enough to deserve the win today.
Here comes his 100th pitch. He threw 114 in his complete game against the Indians last time out. It's a routine ground ball as Bogaerts will fire on to retire Castillo. Stay on top of the latest Red Sox news with NESN's Red Sox text alerts. From breaking news to in-game alerts, NESN will make sure you're in the know. To sign up, text Red Sox to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply.
I would think his pitch count will stay in the 115, 120 range. You know, he's got a track record, a career of being able to go the distance, and he's got the stamina, and he's hadn't shown that he's laboring at all.
In fact, since the first inning, he's allowed 2 singles.
Perfect.
Smith is grounded to first and taking a walk. Everybody in their lineup is a home run threat. He's hit 12.
Yeah, he was a good acquisition for them a few years ago. Faced him when he was in Seattle, had a big year there. San Diego. He's been around the league a while.
High fly into right. That's fighting the sun a little bit. But sees it here for the second out. 2 gone, top of the order, and Tim Beckham next. And for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 7th inning, it'll be Hanley Ramirez, Chris Young, and Xander Bogaerts due up. Pfister's pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. As is usually the case when he's throwing the ball very well. That's certainly true today. He doesn't walk very many people, just 2.
No, doesn't walk very many people. Doesn't strike out a lot of people because that's not his goal. He's got that mindset of, hey, I want you to hit the ball on the ground. I want to go a complete game. So he misses a lot of barrels and gets a lot of ground balls.
Beckham, the man who started it in the first inning with a base hit. He would score one of their 2 first inning runs when they took a 2-0 lead, and he's also lined to center and whiffed.
Yeah, these hitters have been hot, so you know they're comfortable. And you know, we talked about earlier, Doug's done a great job of being able to miss their barrel, but he's kept them honest. He's thrown some pitches that have been in off the plate, making them back up a little bit, and then he's gone away, and then they've been looking away, and he's gone in. He's done a great job of playing that chess game with them.
0-2, and he got him. He struck him out looking. That a little something extra has been there today on a few occasions.
Great pitch.
They go 1-2-3. Looking at the probable starters for the Sox next series against Toronto. Drew Pomeranz going in game 1. Chris Sale in game 2. Rick Porcello on Wednesday. And the Red Sox will be moving to New York for 4 big games against the Yankees, who are leading 10-1 in their game against Seattle. Now, moments ago, Doug Fister with a strikeout to make his way through 7. Our player to bank on, presented by Capital One. This is banking reimagined.
Fister's just doing a great job today, keeping these guys off balance, throwing that slider down and away, using that sinker to both sides of the plate. I mean, he didn't miss over the middle much, and when he did, they couldn't really do anything about it. Had some really, really awkward, ugly swings, that's for sure. Just what the Red Sox needed, this big start from a guy that's, you know, done great in his career.
2 runs, those were in the first inning, 5 hits. So his second consecutive outstanding outing. The Red Sox coming up to bat here in the 7th with Ramirez, Young, and Bogaerts set to take on Miguel Castro. He got a huge strikeout. Mookie Betts looking with the bases loaded in the 6th to get out of that jam. Red Sox getting a run on a couple of doubles by Bogaerts and Devers, but could not push across another one. They've left 11 men on base today. But Hanley about to step in here against Castro.
Yeah, there's a difference in throwing 97 to 100 and just throwing it, and 97 to 100 and locating, and that's what he did against Mookie. He located that pitch right at the knees. It's a tough pitch to pull the trigger on.
On the day, Ramirez with a strikeout, a single, and a walk. That was all when Wade Miley was in the game. Miley pitched long enough to pick up the win. Fouled away for strike 1. Now, one change for the Orioles. Greg Gentry takes over in right field for Smith.
Yeah, they're going to try and get a better defensive option out there in right field and try and hold on to this lead.
It's a slim one, 2-1 7th inning, and the 0-1 to Hanley.
These are the games you love to be involved in. You know, those 16-3 games, it gets out of hand, and you know, it can just lag on. But these games 2-1 in this atmosphere, I mean, you don't ask for anything better than that.
Moreland on deck.
Mitchie 2 bags.
He would hit for Young.
Another one. Umpires can get beat up too. I don't think they like it as much as I do, but
I think somewhere deep in his heart, maybe Chris Young is like, yeah, that's about what I was hoping.
You said it, not me.
After the altercation with Honora, who rung him up on a pitch that was clearly outside, but it was much earlier in the contest.
Yeah, and it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal if it wasn't such a big situation.
Yeah, bases loaded.
I say that, but I'm sure CY would have felt the same way regardless.
Two and two.
Got off fastballs with Hanley.
Well outside to fill up the count.
I would assume if he's gone off fastballs so far, it's a 3-2 count, that he's going to stay with the fastball. So I'm assuming Hanley's going to just look for that heater in his spot and try and do some damage.
Castro can bring it. And here's his payoff pitch. And he walked him. Kind of jerked that one. Time now for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. Tom, thank you very much. Now Moreland announced as the hitter now. He'll step in for Young. who wound up going 0 for 3. Runner at first base, nobody out. Moreland swinging a good stick.
He is, and we talked about this last weekend when the Yankees were in town. This is not an easy situation for a guy to come off the bench facing a guy throwing 97, 99 miles an hour and have some success.
When you had to do it, when you had to come off the bench late in the game against a hard thrower, what was your philosophy? What were you looking to do?
My approach, being in the AL, it was a little bit tougher because I wasn't used to it. When I went to the National League, I was able to kind of make the adjustment a little better, but I just tried to take a 2-strike approach. I always felt more comfortable with 2 strikes. I was shorter, I choked up, so I tried to do the same thing because when you're on the bench, your swing's going to be a little slower as it is, so you didn't want to get too big. So I tried to just kind of shorten up and be real slow, or real short and quick to it.
Moreland yesterday went 2 for 4 in the Red Sox defeat. Last 23 games, he's hitting around 330.
Good time for him to get hot, too. We saw it last weekend. The scouting report on Mitch is obviously throw a lot of changeups. The Yankees did it to him, and he got that big knock to take the lead. And you see it here. They threw a 2-seamer the first pitch, and the guy throwing 97, and first pitch he throws 92, and then that one he throws an 87-mile-an-hour changeup, which, in my opinion, as a catcher, you don't want to throw into that guy's bat speed. You want to speed him up.
This guy does not throw a lot of strikes. He's thrown 15 pitches, only 6 in the strike zone.
Yeah, he's real herky-jerky too, so that can be a little deceptive. But you watch the guys in front of you. He wasn't able to throw strikes. He was missing on the glove side of the plate. So as a hitter, I'm going to be looking in that situation and that spot.
Red Sox have accepted 6 walks today, and not one of them has scored yet. Checked his swing. The appeal, no swing. Says Walcott. So now it's 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1. As a hitter in this situation, you got to look fastball, but it's so tough because they threw you a 2-1 changeup. They don't want to walk them, that's for sure. So, and this is a situation where I would look for the fastball, even though they've been throwing me a lot of off speed.
Now, 2 bags lives up to his nickname. Red Sox are going to tie the ball game. Here's the 3-1, and he walked him.
Good at bat.
Back to back. Xander Bogaerts next. Tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live presented by DCU. TC and Jim will preview Drew Pomerantz's start against Toronto. DCU is Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Look at that beautiful young lady with the seahorses. My fashion designer.
That would be Salty's daughter, Sydney, who's been spending a lot of the 3-game series in the booth. She's decided to get out among the people.
Well, I think we won't tell her this, but she is 0-2, and she's given up a lot of runs in the booth. So I decided to kick her out today.
Kicked her out.
Yeah, but don't tell her that, please.
She found a great seat.
She did. Now this kid, I'm telling you, 20 years it took me to get on TV, and in 10 years she's been on TV, been in a booth, and now she's on the Green Monster.
10 years old.
How lucky can you be?
Well, having a great time with her pop here in Boston.
Yes, she is. And
I asked her earlier today, I said, hey, how you like Boston? I love Boston. Love walking around Boston.
She's already picked her school. She wants to go to Berkeley. She wants to live here. So
good for her.
She's made some good choices.
Well, here's Xander. He's gone 1 for 3 with a double. Opportunity knocking again for the Red Sox. It's been knocking a lot of the afternoon. He'll take ball 1.
It has, and this is the part in the game where so many things you can do. You can bunt the guy over. Somehow you have to get those guys to second and third, and you got to trust the guy on deck. Xander, not a big bunting guy. He's a guy that can get base hits, so John's going to let him go ahead and swing the bat.
Rajay Davis on deck. Nobody out. Hanley Ramirez at second. Mitch Moreland at first. 2-1 Orioles.
Xander took a couple pitches there. You know, you've seen a guy struggle. He's not throwing strikes, so you want to make sure that he's going to throw the pitch you want. X has got to stay real short right here, not try and do too much. You know, he's been a clutch hitter in the past. He's not a big strikeout guy.
Well, of course, he's been exceptionally good with 2 strikes.
Especially with fastballs away. Got beat on that earlier this year. I know he's an exceptionally good hitter.
Here's a nice play.
Oh, wow. So I don't need the glove. It's a great moment right there.
On 2. Serve to the third baseman Machado. He'll sling it in there. Now back on the third and a tag. And he's safe.
Wow.
What a fascinating development that was. And the Red Sox are going to be safe on the corners.
Yeah, that's a situation where a guy was trying to make something out of nothing. You know, you got a great opportunity to get a double play. That's what you want. Take the outs when you can get them. You don't want to give the Red Sox another opportunity. You know, Machado did a great job of getting Hanley to stop, and Scope thought that, okay, well, he stopped. Maybe I can get him and keep the lead runner off of the base.
5-4 fielder's choice.
They still keep the double play in order, obviously, but I don't feel like Castro's a double play pitcher.
But only 1 out.
1 out. They're going to play infield in. They're going to try and get the tying run out at home if they can. Roger's got one thought in his mind. He wants to get that ball in the air out there in the outfield so he can get Hanley to score.
Davis today 1 for 3 with a base hit. Bottom of the 7th, 2-1 Baltimore. Sox with a tying run 90 feet away for the 2nd inning in a row.
Yeah, now more than any, he's going to try and keep the ball down in the zone, try and see if he can get a ground ball.
Ground ball to short. Into second, 1 on to first, and they turn the double play. The Orioles turn 2 anyway and get out of the inning. Still 2-1 Baltimore. BuyAToyota.com. Franklin Sports, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. Great folks at Sullivan Tire and Complete Auto Service. Citizens Bank. Visit citizensbank.com. And buy Ford Trucks, built Ford Tough, the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox hitting into an inning-ending double play. Last couple of innings have been particularly frustrating. Sox continue to leave a lot of men on base. 12 men stranded today. And still down 2-1. So the afternoon is done for Doug Fister. He pitched a very strong game, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits. Right now on a short end, Addison Reed coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, very, very strong game by Pfister. You know, Addison Reed's got 10 games, 1-1 record. The ERA is a little up, but you know, I think that's as of lately. He's a great pitcher. I'm looking for him to throw that fastball. Same thing Pfister's been doing, just attack these guys. Don't miss over the middle of the plate.
Reed last pitched in the Cleveland series. Went an inning and a third, gave up a run. He's going to get Machado and then Scope and Jones as we start the 8th inning at Fenway. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Orioles. 1 run on 8 hits for the Sox. And high and tight for ball 1.
Yeah, and these are no stranger situations for Addison. He's a guy that's been in the closing role, has been in the 8th inning role, has been in a lot of roles in his career. He's no stranger to tight situations. His job to keep this game in check so his offense can come up and try and score some runs for him, which they haven't been able to do lately.
One will miss.
Ooh.
According to home plate umpire Honora.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. Addison's funky. He steps across his body so much that a right-handed hitter, it almost looks like he's throwing it behind you, and he's got that natural cut, which makes him so tough.
These shadows have got to be a pitcher's best friend.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I usually like to stay with the fastball. I didn't want to give the hitter a chance. That 95-mile-an-hour fastball starts to look 100, and you kind of lose it, and you're not sure where the location is going to be.
Check swing, and he just got a piece of that to stay alive.
And Reeder's personality is just, I mean, he's meant for this. He's meant for the 8th and 9th inning role. He's never been shy away from any situation. He wants the ball. Tougher the situation, the better he does.
Foul back. Machado with 85 RBIs, 5th most in the American League, is 29 in the 7th inning or later. That's tied for the 3rd most in the American League. 28 home runs. And a payoff. Down he goes hacking. 94 miles an hour to send him back to the bench. He whiffs for the 3rd time today.
You know, like I said, he's not he's not running away from any situation. He says, here's my best stuff. He threw a fastball right down the middle, said, hey, if you can hit it, have it. Definitely not facing the easiest part of the lineup either.
Yeah, he has to go after Scope here. 28 homers, 95 driven in, and a 300 hitter.
A little quick pitch there. That's another thing he does well, is he's able to get the ball and slide step sometimes. Sometimes he goes a little slower. He likes to keep his hitters off balance that way because, you know, his off-speed stuff is still 87, so it's not too far off from his fastball. So he's got to do different things like that.
0-2. Now the Yankees have won. They beat Seattle handily today, 10-1. So the Sox must win to maintain the 3.5 game lead going to Toronto. Made quick work of him. Scope down hacking. Back-to-back strikeouts by Reed.
Once again, he goes with his fastball. He knows what his best pitch is. It's a fastball, and he's going to come right after these hitters. He said, here's my best stuff. I want your best stuff. That's what makes him so good.
Well, he'll get Adam Jones now. Double, a walk, and a ground out. He drove in a run in the 1st inning. The only inning the Orioles have scored in. When they got a pair, Red Sox got a run in the 6th.
We talked about the Yankees, you know, continue to play well and win, and you know, the losses the Red Sox have is, you know, cut that gap tremendously. But that's what makes these games when they face each other so important. You know, that's when you're able to kind of gain some ground, and you can lose ground too.
And in fact, the series coming up next weekend in New York, Sox and Yankees, will be the last time they meet in the regular season.
Yeah, so the Red Sox are going to want to go into New York and try and sweep them and gain some ground. They don't want to rely on other people to try and help them out. They want to go ahead and do it themselves.
Reed very sharp. He's trying to strike out 3 in a row here in the 8th.
See what he goes. He's been going with the fastball to strike everybody out. See if he does the same thing. Why not?
High pop into center. Short. Davis charging, coming on hard. He slides and he made the play.
Wow, nice catch.
He just did get there to retire the side. 1, 2, 3 they go. Due up Devers, Leon, and Nunez for the Sox. We go back to the 6th inning, and Devers with the double to drive in Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, he's had a couple of good doubles today. He's not trying to do too much. He's hit one off the wall, and he go ahead and hit that one down the line to be able to get his team on the board.
So he's 2 for 3, a pair of doubles. And he's leading off here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Red Sox trail 2-1.
See if he can get a double to lead things off. I'm a little surprised they're sticking with Castro with a little bit of the control issues he's had.
And last inning he walked the first 2 men, then got an out, and then got a huge double play off the bat of Rajai Davis,
which is not easy to do.
And the 0-1 to the rookie, who's out in front.
Yeah, he's going with some off-speed stuff now.
Right-hander Brad Brock loosens in the pen for Baltimore, and it's Mr. Kimbrel for the Sox.
Yeah, the Red Sox just got to keep that momentum going. Just continue with it, run with it. You know, not try and do too much. Sound like a broken record, but they just need to go ahead and get single, single, single.
1-2, and he wouldn't chase.
Good eye. Done a great job today with 2 strikes. You know, maybe he's trying to do less with 2, and he's able to put a good swing on the ball and get some hits.
Leon on deck. And again, you look at the pitch count of 28 for Castro since he entered the game, and only 13 strikes.
Yeah, he's had some walks, but he's had some big double plays. He's had some big outs in situations. You know, he's been able to keep himself under control and get the outs when he needs them. Right there, swinging a miss, strike 3. Down goes Devers.
Bruins fans, Boston's team since 1924 is hitting the road. Tomorrow the Bruins will make their next stop in Burlington, Vermont at the Burlington International Airport from 2 to 7. Admission is free. For the full schedule and more, visit NESN.com/FanFest.
You go back to that pitch there, and perfect example. 3-2 count. He throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, but he paints it right on the bottom corner. It's really, he makes his pitches when he needs to.
Sandy 1 for 2, a single and a walk in this contest. They'll be followed by Nunez.
Tough, makes you wonder. You fall behind, you get 2-0, you miss by that much, and then in a big situation when you need it, you spot it.
He's done that a couple of times, as you mentioned. The 1-0 line toward right, but toward the stands. 1-1. And Sandy broke his bat.
Pick me out a winner, Bobby.
You really are a fan of The Natural.
I'm a fan of all baseball movies.
What's number 1?
I'd say Field of Dreams. I think that's it's a feel-good story, and you realize those guys that were in the game before you and what they've done and what they've brought to the game, and to see it, I mean, you want to think that's a true story.
1-1. You know what else it has? James Earl Jones.
Yes. Voice of
God, but he's voice of CNN.
Yeah, but wasn't he Star Wars?
Star Wars,
Darth Vader, that's right.
Darth Vader. 2-1. All even here on Sandy.
Threw a good 2-1 change up there. See if he comes back with it right here.
He fills up another count.
There you go, 3-2 again. Let's see if he throws the fastball painted right down and away. He hasn't been able to throw his off-speed pitches for strikes, so one would think he's got to go with the fastball.
Nobody on, 1 down, 3-2 coming, and he walks another one. So the Red Sox once again have the tying run on base. The Design It Yourself sofa, hundreds of fabrics and style options to choose from, starting at just $7.99. Get up to 60 months, no interest, with equal payments and no minimum. Your style, your look, only at Jordan's Furniture. Showalter heading out, and the bullpen gate is open, so he'll make the move. Brock the Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. So Castro walks a man after striking out Devers. Brock Holt is going to come on and run for Sandy Leon, representing the tying run. And Brad Brock, a good one in their bullpen, coming on to pitch to Nunez.
Yeah, he's a tough pitcher for sure. Yeah, he throws hard just like everybody else in the pen, but he's got a good slider, good changeup, but he's not afraid. He'll come after you.
Tough to hit.
Yep.
Allowing a batting average about 200. So far, a quiet day for Eduardo Nunez. 0 for 4. See if he gets noisy right here against Brock and the Orioles, who lead it 2-1.
Yeah, it'd be a good time for a nice double. Trying to keep Brock close, make sure he doesn't take an easy base. A lot of times relievers get complacent and they get caught up in the moment and the situation, and they lose control and lose track of the runner.
The Red Sox have to win today to keep a 3.5 game lead because the Yankees have won.
Yeah, I know Nooney struggled as of late, but he is a great hit and run candidate. He makes contact a lot of times.
Well, no play on here. 0-2.
Now the hit and run goes out the window with 2 strikes.
Brock, their 4th reliever. Miley went into the 5th inning, and he can still win it.
Yeah, you hate to see Fister's start kind of go out the window like that. He pitched so well and kept his team in the game. The offense just couldn't capitalize on some good situations.
Here's the 0-2, and he spoiled that one back out of play. The Orioles have been a very tough opponent for the Red Sox this season. The Sox are 6-9 against them.
Yeah, I feel like after that 2011 season is when the Orioles really got tough on the Red Sox. It was almost like when Buck came into being the manager. It was a whole different team and a whole different approach.
Well, he can do that.
Yep.
At the force of his personality, here comes the 0-2, and he lets it go. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he doesn't really give guys a choice. Not that he's one of those managers that's going to scream at you and yell at you, but he demands something from every player. He demands that grit, that iron, that the guys that go out there and play as hard as they can and never give up. Doesn't matter if you're a superstar or a guy that's just your first day in the big leagues.
He's got some Belichick in him. Here comes the 1-2. There's a shot line to right field. Gentry backing up. Oh, had all sorts of trouble, and he made the play anyway.
Wow.
A sinking line drive. He very nearly butchered it, but he made the catch.
Made the catch on his knees.
Wow.
Like he ran in expecting it to be in, and then all of a sudden he realized it was going to go further back, so he had to back up on it, and then almost ran too far back, so then he had to drop to his knees. Way to stay with it.
Boy, there was some panic there.
You ain't kidding. Ball will find you when you get in the game.
So 2 away for Benintendi. He's been on base 3 times in this one, a single and a couple of walks. Still 2-1 Orioles. And that one skips away.
That goes in their favor.
Brock Holt racing to second and stopping right there.
Yeah, that's a tough one in the dirt there.
Wild pitch.
Yeah, that's a situation changeup. He just kind of yanked it, held on too tight. Wellington did everything he could to try and keep it in front, but it just kind of skipped off his right shoulder and was able to let Brock get to second. Now you're just a single away from a tie ball game. That's your thought process right now.
As a home run against this right-hander. Two down. That's a rocket. Gentry's there to make that catch.
Man,
goodness,
that ball's hit hard.
Absolute bullet indeed. Nothing to show for that. Red Sox have left 13 men. Don't go anywhere as we stay in the park.
with 31 come-from-behind wins.
And the Red Sox are back in the lead.
And 9 walk-offs.
The Red Sox walking off.
The Sox are playing with a thirst for first.
No days off, man. We kept pitching.
Down he goes again.
We kept playing defense.
Got it. He got him.
Great play. You got that going for you. Everything kind of clicks, especially when the bats heat up.
The red-hot Andrew Benintendi.
If you haven't been watching, now's the time to start soaking it up.
Yes.
Red Sox Blue Jays. Series coverage begins tomorrow at 6 on NESN.
The afternoon, Red Sox are trailing though 2-1. Our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Again, Miley goes 5 innings. He can win it. Pfister went 7. Right now he would lose it. Despite striking out 7 and allowing only 5 hits, Devers 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles. Red Sox are stranded 13.
Yeah, that would be a tough loss. And man, Benny killed that ball. That's just the way the break's been going these past few days.
Vasquez coming on to catch. And Kimbrel coming on to pitch. And it has been some season for the closer. But now entering in the 9th inning with his team trailing by a run. He'll get Mancini, Davis, and Trumbo. So the 9th inning at Fenway.
Dirty Craig.
That's what he goes with here in this Players Weekend. On the back of the uni. If the Red Sox lose today, it will be 4 consecutive losses. They will be swept by the Orioles for the first time in a couple of years, and that's the last you will ever see of these uniforms.
Yes, thankfully. I'll tell you, the Red Sox have had some interesting and some really, they've been fortunate enough to have really good closers in the span of this organization. But since I've been here especially, I mean, you go from Papelbon to Koji to Kimbrel. I mean, definitely different personalities.
Oh yeah,
different styles.
Well, you can say that again.
Well, I was just thinking the other day, what would Paps be? I mean, he changes personality quite often, so he'd probably change his name from game to game.
I think he would. Different uniform every game for Papelbon.
Yeah, I mean, you had Cinco Ocho, John Bob. I mean, he had a bunch of different names.
Since he's been out of baseball, as that one is cut on the miss to make it 2-2, he has completely disappeared, hasn't he?
He has, but he's been spent a lot of time with his family. I mean, this game, you're in it for so long, you're away from them, you know, for so many days, so many games, that your kids get older and you want to spend as much time with them. So I don't blame him one bit.
Mancini has been troubled today with a double to drive in a run, a single. He's also struck out.
That's a tough 99-mile fastball just to get a piece of.
2 runs on 5 hits for Baltimore. 1 run on 8 hits for the Red Sox. Nobody's made an error today.
Yeah, that's just a lot of men left on base today, which is always a tough pill to swallow, no matter how you look at it.
You win the game, no one remembers, right?
Exactly.
There's a shot into left field. Benintendi has to play that off the 10. That'll be a long single. This kid can swing the bat.
He can. He's beating you in every situation he can. He hit the ball to right centers, hit the ball to left field, turns on 99, 92. He hits the right. He's a definite, very, very good hitter.
3 for 4 today.
99-mile-an-hour fastball in, and he's just able to get around on it quick. Hit it so hard he can only get a single. Obviously, Kimbrel's not a big ground ball double play pitcher.
He gets Chris Davis here as 1 for 3 with a single. You know what he's looking to do?
Same thing he's always looking to do. Hit it as far as he can. Chris is no stranger to the shift either, and you know, a lot of people would ask, you know, a guy throws 99, 100 miles an hour, why would you have him shift? Well, because he throws 99, 100, and he is what he is, you know that hitter's going to try and cheat a little bit and get it out in front, and that's when he's going to pull it.
Tried to hold up, and he did. 2-0. One for 5, and he does have a home run against Craig.
You see the infielder shifting again. A lot of times they do that. They take the bunt away early, and then once they get into a count where they know he's not going to bunt, they'll put everybody over on that side of the field.
3-0. Trumbo on deck.
Yeah, Chris is going to look for one pitch, one location. You know, those shadows can play a role in it.
Kimbrel trying to come all the way back here. That one roped to right. Betts on the move. Mookie closing. He's got it. Here's the throw back to first base offline, and diving in safely Mancini.
Almost.
Yeah, more accurate throw there. It would have been very difficult to do that, but a more accurate throw might have had him.
Yeah, I think Mookie was surprised, just as all of us. Mancini was going like he thought it was an easy hit, and then all of a sudden he looks up, oh wait, I can get him out at first. So a little off balance, but no damage done. Still got an out. It would have had to have been a perfect throw to get him anyways.
So 1 away. Trumbo has struck out, grounded to the pitcher, and flying to right. He's 0 for 3, hitting .240 with 20 home runs. One of 6 Orioles who have hit at least 20, most in the majors.
Yeah, this would be a good matchup right here because, you know, Kimbrel does throw that fastball hard and he throws it up in the zone, and Trumbo can struggle with that elevated fastball as he did right there.
Red Sox will have due up in the bottom of this 9th inning. Betts, Ramirez, and Moreland.
Right where they want to be.
He pumps it in there at 99.
Good pitch. Throw another one right there, same spot. Give it one more try.
And the 0-2 pitch to Trumbo.
Not a bad miss. You know, he went with the fastball, which is what his best pitch is, and he made sure that if he was going to miss, he was going to miss just off the plate.
It's kind of interesting as you look inside the bullpen of the Orioles. No Zach Britton.
No.
Their closer is not warming up.
He's standing there. Maybe I wouldn't watch. I didn't know if he was warming up last inning or not.
1-2. And he puts him away at 99. 2 gone.
You know, a lot of pitchers, they don't need a lot of pitches to warm up and get ready to go out there. So, you know, maybe he's one of those guys that only needs 10 or 15 to get loose and get ready.
Our camera guys, they're as good as they get in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Not one of them has noticed Britton warming up, so he was not warming up previously.
Hey, so then they're not. I know he's had issues with that knee this year. Maybe that could be a reason. Maybe he's down this weekend.
There's Castillo.
That's good news for the Red Sox.
That could be. Right now trailing 2-1 in the 9th. Castillo hitless with 3 ground ball outs. All that against Doug Fister, who once again was excellent today. 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits. That's all they got off him. And they got both of those runs in the first inning. And he shut him down after that.
Yeah, Doug gave the Red Sox exactly what they needed. They needed someone to come out there and keep them in the ball game, get their defense off the field as quick as possible, and get them up to the plate. They just couldn't capitalize on anything.
One ball and 1 strike on the Oriole catcher.
And Wellington obviously a power threat. He's got a pretty quick bat, so you want to make sure you don't make any mistakes over the inner half of the plate.
That's a quality play moments ago on a foul back.
All these people brought their gloves, and everyone's catching the ball doesn't have a glove on.
Hey, when you have good hands, you have good hands.
Yeah. I'd have took it in the face. Great pitch.
1-2 the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Castillo.
Nothing like a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right at the knees. Great location. And you got 1-2 count here. There's so many different things that Craig can do. You know, fastball being his best pitch, but he can play around with the slider if he wants to. He hasn't seen it yet.
Looking for his 2nd consecutive strikeout. High fly ball into left center. Davis battling the sun to the alley. He'll make the catch. Side retired, 1 man left. The pitching has been excellent today. Now it's time for the offense. It's Betts, Ramirez, Moreland into the bottom of the 9th. And for every Red Sox homer, Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. All during the month of August in Massachusetts stores. You can use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase $3 of in-store merchandise and get 10 cents off a gallon. So Zach Britton, one of the great closers in the game, still has the warm-up jacket on, and he is pacing around out there in their bullpen, but he is not warmed up. They're going to stick with Brock. And remember, Brock, when Britton was on the DL for a couple of months, he was their closer and did very good work. He had 16 saves.
Yeah, but I mean, he's your closer. You got to go with your guy. You know, he was not too far removed from in the candidate for a Cy Young, which is for a closer is tough. You know, I know he's only home run he gave up last year was against Mookie, but you know, there's got to be a reason, I'm sure.
Mookie Betts leading things off. He has doubled, flied out, walked, and struck out. Struck out in the 6th inning with the bases loaded. Caught looking.
Yeah, that was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball right at the knees.
Remember the wild card game that the Orioles lost 5-2. Showalter decided to leave Britton in the bullpen. Never got to him. There's a chopper to the right side. And Scope up and over for the first out here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want a replay of that. I know, but you know, like I said, there's got to be a reason. There's something going through his mind that's saying, listen, I'm going to stick with this guy. I'm sure that guy wants to be in there, though.
So here comes Hanley. Red Sox trail 2-1, bottom of the 9th inning. Hanley's been on base 3 times, a single and a couple of walks.
Yeah, he's put some good at bats together. First at bat he struck out, but after that he's able to get the single, go to some 3-2 counts, get on base. Like to see him do that right here with Mitch on deck. Good eye. You know, you're looking for a pitch. In this situation, you're only down by 1. It's not like you're down by 2. Usually when you're down by 2 or 3, you know, you might get the take sign just so you can, you know, maybe take a chance of getting a walk. But in this situation, you're down by 1. You're swinging the bat trying to tie the ball game.
The Red Sox pitching had been taking it on the chin the last 3 games. Not the case today.
No, not at all.
Returning to form today, allowing only 6 hits and 2 runs. However, if the Red Sox lose, they will be swept by the Orioles, and they will tie their season high with a 4-game losing skid heading out onto the road.
Yeah, it's been a tough series for these guys, but you know, they're professionals. They know how to turn the page, you know, and they're not giving up. I mean, this game's not over. They know at any point anybody in this lineup can hit a home run to tie the ball game. They can make things happen. You know, all it takes is one little knock here and there.
2-1 from Brock, and he popped him up into center. Scope out, coming on the center fielder Jones. He'll take it. 2 down. So the Sox are down to their last man and Mitch Moreland.
2-out rally, 2-bagger. You know, this may be a time, I'm not saying that he is, but this could be a time where you get 2 quick outs like that, and as a pitcher you kind of take a breath, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm almost out of this. And as soon as you do that, bad things can happen.
Mitch took a walk in the 7th inning. That's the first time he entered the game. 2 down, bases empty, 2-1 Orioles. They're 1 out away from a sweep, which would be their first at Fenway Park in 3 years. The Yankees did win. They beat up on Seattle 10-1. So if the Red Sox fall, they will be 2.5 in front of New York, going to Toronto tonight.
Yeah, Mitch has faced this guy a few times. He did a great job taking that pitch right there. He knows what they're trying to do to him. They've been throwing him a lot of off-speed pitches, so that's what he's looking for.
Ground ball to first behind the bag. Davis has it, flips to the pitcher, and that's it. Red Sox fall again. They lose all 3 games over the weekend here to the Baltimore Orioles. 2-1 the final here. The bullpen coming through in a big way for Buck and the Orioles. And so the Red Sox have now lost 4 consecutive games, and TC head to the road just 2.5 in front of the Yankees.